black back and put the black where it belongs, and that's on Native Black Americans. The fact that we even need to delineate is because folks hijack black. People gaslight us like, yo, why you guys delineating? Why you guys delineating? You're xenophobic. You're divisive. Well, get rid of black, right? Call yourself what you are and stop calling yourself black, and we ain't got to delineate. You dig? We could remain being black, and you could remain being Haitian and Nigerian and Sudanese and whatever else. You dig? Y'all took our name and ran with it, ran a touchdown with it. You didn't took our name and ran the damn punt to the end zone. And they get mad at us because we want to delineate, and all that means, delineate just means add more marked terms to black. So when somebody say black, they ain't thinking about you. You dig? They thinking about us. When we talk about tangibles and laws and certain acts being passed, the confusion ain't there. That's why we got the marked terms around the word black. We ain't got to do that if y'all give us back black. You dig? Stop the hijacking. You see what I'm saying? Do you see what I'm saying? Still our name, force us to still our name, and then force us to delineate, and then gaslight us for delineating. It's like, yeah, we wouldn't be delineating if you ain't still our damn name. Right? They're gonna gaslight us. Okay, all right. So right, coach. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Early. All right, I ain't do that, did I? I do that. How you do that? Yeah. Okay, so it's about right here, right here. 7 minute. I got you. Around the 7 minute.
Oh man, but I'm in
Right
here.
over here somewhere.
Thundercat, hop on in. I'm very confused by what you in the comment section about. Thundercat? But yeah, they own those Africans, well, they ain't too fond of them. They're really not too fond of them. And they be getting y'all up out of here. Yeah, they don't come at us like that. It's a whole different vibe. It's a whole different energy, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Thundercat, what are you talking about, Thundercat?
Hey, how you doing?
I'm good, Thundercat. Now, what were you talking about?
You kept saying people are jealous about you, and nobody's jealous about you, man. People admire your culture for the most part, so I don't see what is there to be jealous about.
Well, y'all jealous because we travel and we get respect around the world and you
No,
don't.
why should I? Why would people be jealous about that? It makes
Because
absolute
y'all stay in our comments complaining all the time.
complain about what?
Us traveling and complaining about how much money we have.
Why would people are too busy living their lives to care about that?
But y'all not that busy because y'all always whining to us. Y'all make time to whine to us all the time. Always whining to us, pocket watching, crying about what we're doing, complaining about what we're doing that ain't got nothing to do with you. Are you in the UK? I bet you're in the UK. You're not even over here, are you?
Yeah, well, listen, look, I think there's more love than hate.
You're in the
I think
UK, aren't you, sir?
yeah,
You're in
well,
the UK, aren't
listen,
you? Thundercat, you're in the UK, aren't you?
I'm international, man.
You're right. You're in the UK, sir. And you, look at you. You all up in our business. Why you all up whining about us? Why you all up in our business?
I'm not I am not whining. I have nothing more than admiration, and I wish nothing but unity, between the black
Really?
communities. But but
Okay, I hear a Nigerian.
there's no
I
hate.
hear,
There's no.
Thundercat, I'm talking. Don't
Yeah.
do that. Okay,
All
I'm
right,
talking.
it's fine. Yeah.
And I hear a British Nigerian thing going on, right?
Well,
Right?
well, I'm of African descent. That's all I gotta say.
Well, you're Nigerian, right? I can hear it. Are you Igbo?
No,
Sound like
not
you're Igbo.
specific.
You what?
It could be.
Yeah, you're Igbo.
Could be.
You're Igbo.
Yeah.
I hear it.
Well, it could be, but But
why are you so evasive
general,
about it? Why are you so evasive about it? Thundercat, why are you so evasive about that? Why are you so ashamed?
Yeah, because not everybody likes to put their business out there. But however,
that's not no
Tariq,
business. Listen.
It's like there is more. Listen.
Thundercat. I'm a foundational
Yes.
Black American. That's nothing to hide.
I am very happy for you. I am very happy for you.
You see how easy that was? I don't have nothing to hide. Why you had to hide who you are, man? What's that about?
I said I'm African, proud to be African as well.
You're not proud at all. You won't even say what part of Africa you're from, sir.
No, not really. Yeah, because some people don't like to put their business out there.
That's not no business. Yeah, how's that going to harm you?
I don't know. Some people like to stay anonymous. But anyway, Tariq, I think there's more love than hate. If you go to Africa, most African Americans that go to Africa, you'd find that they feel more welcome there, than hate. And this projection of Africans hate Black Americans that I think is just incorrect.
So you're saying we should go to Africa? So we should go to Africa?
No, I'm not saying you should go to Africa. I'm saying they're Black Americans or African Americans who go to Africa, and when they get there, they're well received. There's nothing but love for Black Americans. So the narrative and the notion that we hate you, we're jealous of you, and all this kind of stuff, I think is profoundly wrong, in my opinion.
Then how come you ain't over there?
Because your conversation is always about how we hate you.
How come you ain't in Africa? How come you ain't in Africa then? If it's all that love,
right? And what is wrong with traveling, Tariq?
You ain't traveling.
What's wrong?
Sir.
I mean, white people have traveled. They've conquered different parts of the world. Why do you talk about them?
What you're doing is not.
Why did you talk about them?
Sir.
They've conquered. They've
what you're doing is not traveling, sir. It's called fleeing.
Yeah, and so what? People, it's survival mode, man. We have one life to live. We have to live for the best.
Well, don't sit here
for the best we can. What is wrong? What is wrong with that?
That's what
Europeans have done it.
Don't try to sell us on Wakanda. That's the so what. Look, you're sitting here trying to
live in where you look.
Dudu Tunde, calm down. Dudu Tunde, calm down. You're the one trying to sell us the Wakanda package. You're trying to sell us the Wakanda package, and not you.
Nobody's trying to sell nothing. You go if you please.
You go, sir. If you please. You're here telling us we should go to Africa. You ain't even over there.
Nobody said you should go to Africa. I said when Americans go to Africa, you go wherever you want to be, just like I choose to be wherever I want to be. We are free to move. If I can make a move, I'll make the move. That's it. But I'll always love where I'm from.
Right. It's called fleeing, and that's okay. Just admit that you fled, and that's fine. Whatever makes you feel better,
but look, Europeans have done it. You live in America. You're not indigenous to there, neither the white Americans.
I'm foundational.
So did you all flee as well?
No. See, you can't define me, sir. You can't define me.
I'm not trying.
You cannot define our lineage, sir. I'm foundational.
I am not
to
trying
the
to define
States.
your lineage.
Yes, you are.
It is what it is.
I am foundational to the United States.
I cannot define
sir.
your lineage because your lineage is just what it is. It's a fact. I cannot. It does not matter what I say. It's going to be what it is.
I am foundational to the United States. That is my homeland.
And that is fine.
You understand that?
Yes. Yes.
All right. So you can't. You're not at liberty to come in here and tell us about our lineage.
I am not telling you, and I am not telling you where you're from. You are where you are from. That is just a fact.
Now, sir, if I want a dirt cookie recipe, I'll text you. Okay, I'll ask you for some recipes if I need that, but I don't need that, sir. So you got to stay in your lane. You understand how that works?
I am very much in my lane.
All right, Musty Cat. Yeah, I'm not going to hear this tether babble. Well, these tethers got some nerve. Y'all not going to try to dictate anything to us and tell us who we are? You're not going to do that, sir. You're not going to do that. You're not going to tell us who we are. We don't do that. We don't do that. All right. Let me get some folks in here. Raise the hand. Since people want to get active, let's get active. Let's get active. Everybody raise those hands since people want to come on in early and talk about some things. Let's talk about it. Get those hands up, ladies and gentlemen. We are in here deep. And like I said, I'm here in Japan. And again, a lot of the tethers are very jealous that we travel. They've been making little slick comments. You got FBA money and went to vacation. They're just saying anything. That's jealous talk. When y'all just start saying anything, that's jealousy and frustration. Because we can travel, like this guy called up talking about he travels. You ain't traveling, sir. You fled. Traveling means you go somewhere, then come back home. What you doing, sir, is not traveling. That's called refugeeism. You are a refugee. Just say that. Don't sit here and try to fake the funk and then give us advice. No, thank you. No, thank you. No, thank you. All right. Let me see who we got. Lou the Truth. Let's get Lou the Truth in here. Lou the
What's
Truth.
going on, Tariq?
What's going on, Lou the Truth? How are you, brother?
It's been good. I'm enjoying the work and everything, man. Just hoping you having a fantastic trip. Hoping you
Absolutely.
safe and get started with the movie. I wanted to talk to you about this clip I seen.
Big, what did I say? Big Don Salon? Big Don Salon, you on mute? Nah, you not. Big Don Salon, you there? If you're talking, we can't hear you. Did you mean to hop on? Okay, okay, no problem. I mean, so you from Louisiana? Okay. Yeah, yeah, y'all country too. Yeah. Did you want to contribute, say something, or you were just gonna FBA talk?
Man, I'm just saying it's the same thing right now. We got a family job coming with it. The main thing I'm focusing on right now is they keep talking about this big wealth transfer in America. They talk about it's a lot of baby boomers just basically, dying out. I mean, and they businesses need someone to own them. So it's a lot of businesses that's for sale right now. So I'm really trying to focus on the way that we can consolidate some money and we talk in certain cities, like the brother Chase, the dude that so you know who brother Chase is, right?
No.
Chase, the dude, he wrote the book. I think it was like 50 white people who said they saw black people in America. So
Nah, I ain't see that. Yeah.
So yeah, cuz y'all like handling some business down like in Arkansas and Alabama, trying to put some things together for the family. So I just say the main thing that I'm focusing on, I want us to focus on is really, man, everybody just try to get an LLC. And really, let's go ahead and bless these businesses with these small business loans. We can get like gas stations, all that. And that'll be a nice little jump start for us, definitely for the next generation, especially with the way that America heading in the next 5 to years. But
Yeah. Well, yeah. For those, hold on. Yeah. For those who can pull it off, I would say, yeah, why not? Gas stations, when it comes to business, I got an LC. Yeah, I had an LC for 12 years. Yeah, but I would say when it comes to business, it's about location. I seen many business DIE on the island because they're in the wrong spot. It's about location, it's about demand. You just can't sell any old thing if you got no buyers. So it's a lot of homework to do before you purchase a business. And what you're talking about, investors or multi-members. If you're talking about LLC, you're talking about multi-members, LLC. Yeah, you got LLP. You got a lot of that people get into. I would say make sure you know something about the person that you're going to business with. Then you ain't in business with some crazy people. Yeah. So it's a lot there, and I would say use your AI. I say all your ideas you got, use your AI. Use how everybody can go in and get a certain percentage. Because I think when it comes to multi-membership LLCs, the way it works is the people who put in money that they agree to a certain percentage of the business, and some other folks don't have money, but they could put in sweat equity and they can get a stake in the business, something like that. So like people got to work that out in the beginning, put that in an article face and things like that. Because if you don't, it's going to be hard to find where you at later in that business. Yeah, so it's a great idea. Folks should hop onto it if they can. Just research each other, make sure everybody bona fide and legitimate.
And look, I'm gonna say one more thing. So one time I was talking to this Latino, a lawyer for corporations. He told me that right now the biggest threat to national security in America is shortage right now. So they got something called YBS law. They're paying for young but ghetto and small. They actually incentivizing Americans to buy land and grow their own food. So the loan covers the land, it also covers the money to build a house, it also covers the money to start a farm.
All right, now I had did lives on that before about land. I'm gonna say the thing about land, that gotta be your passion. That ain't something you can just hop into and be good at. Like that gotta be your passion. Farming and that type of stuff is a lot of work, and it's a lot of education, and it's a lot of will that's needed. Like people say buy land and produce your food. That sounds great. There's a reason why everybody just go to Wegmans. It's a lot of work.
I mean, that's like cucumbers and tomatoes. Drive out there, pick it, or you can pay somebody to pick it. I mean, but basically it'll just be something good for us to have as FBA.
But but look what my motto is. My motto is whatever idea we have, let's not do a Umar Johnson and want a whole university, or do a Marcus Garvey and want a fleet of ships to bring people to Africa. Is nothing wrong with starting small, dominating that, and then gradually grow like a real business. See, what happens is people swing for the fences and usually they get scammed. So there's something called proof of concept. Start small, prove your formula is a winning formula, because going for the fences and there's no proof of concept. Like, there's no evidence that this is a winning idea. So start small, small land, small acres or whatever, and then be successful there. Down, make sure you can farm at 1 acre or half an acre or a quarter of an acre. Make sure you can grow cucumbers, tomatoes successfully there. Make sure that the demand, there's uses for those tomatoes and cucumbers, and then grow it from there. But swinging for the fences is always a strikeout. Yeah, so everything's great. All I say is people got to just start. Trina, she did a video called Procrastination. Like, people have ideas, but they don't move on them. They just sit there for 30 years. If people got ideas, start. So now when you're talking what you're talking, you can shift over here. And look, this could be bigger. You feel me? So people want a visual. And when people got that visual, it's easier to sell, the bigger concept. Yeah, so I'll just say whatever idea y'all got that I think is genuine, do it. Start now. Don't wait. Don't wait for 30 million Chinese Black Americans to hop on. Start now. Be the first one involved. Be the first owner, and then extend it. As you get good in it, repropose it to the lineage. Hey, y'all can buy into this. We can make it work. You dig? Just like any other business that's that goes public with shares. They say, hey, y'all can now be part of this big thing we got going on. They share this dollar amount. So we just got people do things. We got great ideas. Start it. Get the information. That's good. Get the information and then start it. Start small, so the people you're talking to, you can show you already did on a low level, and now you're ready for that next level. You need certain help, certain many amount of people to join you. That's all. It's about idea. Go. I get an idea. I get an idea. You best believe I'm already in it. That thing's already on wheels. That thing already walking. So most of us got to do that. If y'all want to put money together with each other or start small and go do all that. The idea, get it, pop it now. Start finding out what to do. AI makes it real easy. AI lay out the whole format for everybody. Whatever you want to do, whatever desire, whatever entrepreneur endeavors you got, throw that thing in AI. It's going to sharpen it up. It's going to purge out the unrealistic stuff. The romanticism, because everybody think that thing going to be a gazillion-dollar, corporation. Everybody think that, but AI can tell you like what's the chances of that, what's already out there, how long it took for them to be a gazillion-dollar corporation. Some reality to step into that. What's the likeliness of investing in businesses with people you barely know? You feel me? Ask AI that. AI gonna be like, don't do it. So that's why I say like research people. There's a lot of matter of fact. I keep saying I'm gonna show that video, but there's a Uncle Ernest. His whiskey. His daughter took over his whiskey, and she grew it something big. But think it's like something happened where she like kind of lost it, and a team of Native Black American investors who got different portfolios wanted to buy it together. So it's kind of what you're talking about. You see it. I got to play that video. Right? You got like 6, 7 successful Native Black American men who was put together a proposal. God, what going on over here? Who was putting together a proposal to purchase or to save Uncle Near's legacy from his daughter that's apparently, from what I heard, barely holding on to it. They got honeymoon popping up. Honeymoon. Hey, good. How are you? What would you like to say today? FBA. Well, the brother had a good idea. He was just saying, something about businesses are like are going out of business because people passing away and there's nobody there in that family line to like keep it going. So they selling it. So he said business up for sale. FBAs, that's serious, can come together. Uh, get some LLCs, all type of stuff, and the ones who are willing to do that, go ahead and pull their resources. And all I was saying was, yeah, you got some Native Black American men who wanted to buy Uncle Near's whiskey brand from his daughter because his daughter had sparked it up after Uncle Nearest. I think Uncle Nearest was the guy that was linked up with, was it Jack Daniels? Okay, he was the distiller, and the guy kind of like ran off with the, how he did, ran off the recipe, and then end up like Uncle Nearest taught to do everything he knew about distilling and his unique way he was distilling. Jack Daniels ran off and got a patent and did like thank you and patented it, and then told Uncle Nearest, hey, you can work for me. I'll put you on salary. And that's what happened. So then his daughter had came around later and started the whiskey in the name of her dad, and it got successful really, really fast. We're talking about like damn near like almost down there $1 billion whiskey thing. She did like a little bit of time, but something happened where she got into some financial trouble, and she's still like it's like she's being sued or something's happening where she cannot hold on to it. So the 7, 8, 5, 6 Native Black American men wanted to buy it from her to keep the legacy going. They didn't want her to lose it to some white tea person. And and I'm gonna play the video and let them tell the story. And I think that she was like, from what they were saying, like in delusion. I think she could hold on to it. She's gonna mess around and end up losing to some white team man, something like that. That they were doing, but they was doing his idea. 7 Native Black American men saying, "Hey, let's pull up resources," because like they already own business. That they got their portfolios like stacked. Like these guys are successful in different fields and success. Want to do real estate.
Do they have a what is that called? Like a GoFundMe or something like that?
I don't think they. No, I think these guys are investors, venture capitalists, where they put up their money. Like, yeah, they don't want nobody. Like they are going to be the owners. So when they put their money, that's going to be their percentage in the business. Yeah, yeah. They don't do GoFundMe. From what I know, but I'm gonna play the video on YouTube probably sometime today.
You know, you remember you said you wanted me to come up on your YouTube, but
Yeah.
I feel done. What is that man's YouTube? I wouldn't mind coming up.
Yeah, so it's a blacks, right? Like black BLACKS, but there's no CKS. It's black with an X, so it's spelled blacks with an X. So it's real easy to find. I should be the first channel to come up when you type in black. So it's blacks news and facts. BLAX news and facts. And you're gonna see me like when I was like I think my early 30s, had the long box braids, my FBA sister. I didn't do that. I don't know what this African shop was about, but I ain't really go to them too much. Like a lot of my braiding was done by Native Black American sisters, and I had a Jamaican sister who would do my hair. But I rarely got it done by Africans. I don't know what that hype is about. Because I did go a few times to the urban Everton, New Jersey. So Africans, it wasn't better than the Jamaican and FBA sister. Man, I don't know what y'all talking about.
Yeah, I can have it on other people's channels. I'll be honest.
Okay. And when you say wreck and havoc, like,
Because I have to correct them, and they don't like when they correct it.
oh yeah,
They refuse to understand us. They refuse to get where we're coming from. And it's wild to me that you say that we're the same, we look the same. But if we're telling you something, you throw it out the window.
yeah,
As long as it's your life.
yeah. That's why you invite them to the YouTube, right? Because we can play good cop, got bad cop, because there's two ways to deliver a message. It's two good ways that's opposing to each other, which is both productive to deliver a message. We can play good cop, bad cop with these tethers. For one, let me say this. We will say we're delineating, and then they'll say we're divisive. They'll say we're xenophobic.
Right.
And then I'll say, well, damn, we're delineating because of you. You literally stole our name black. If you leave black alone, we ain't got to delineate. You feel me? So the fact that we got to put an N before black and an American after black is your fault because you are the flat black people, the immigrants.
I said, they say FBA is divisive and stuff like that. And they were like, well, if you're indigenous, why are you calling yourself FBA? I said, I understand what it means to be a foundational black. I agree with it. Whether I call myself indigenous or not. So,
Yeah, I don't call myself indigenous for my own reason. I use the word native. Native to me is the best fitting term. So, and now when they try to challenge me on native, it's a one-sided conversation. They become students, I become teacher because what they do is they try to use it. They try to use native and indigenous interchangeably. So I got to educate them. So right from the jump, I showed that there's levels to this. Like you my son, because I let them know native and indigenous are not. Yeah, they are not. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, they my son, and I don't let nobody son me because I don't talk about what I don't know. I'll stay quiet and ask questions. But native and indigenous are not interchangeable words. Indigenous is something you were before white people. Okay, got it. So now watch this. So some people, most of us got indigenous roots, right? Because the average Native Black American is uh, is have a homogenous admixture with European And those Europeans, we got to start being more specific now because we are the real Black Brits. Like, we're the only people with the Brit blood in us. Like, don't forget, the people came over here. Yeah.
It was already people already Europe as well. Yeah.
We are the real Black Brits. Like, these guys are cosplayers, but we're a homogenous. So a native Black American is normally a homogenous mixture of indigenous, African, European. That's what a native Black American is. An indigenous person is not necessarily mixed. They could be 100% indigenous, which wouldn't make them native. Native means you're mixed. Indigenous means you're not mixed. So that's one key difference between native and indigenous, right? And then all native Blacks are foundational. Not all indigenous people are foundational.
Okay, I got it.
Yeah.
Well, the term indigenous only so people can. I feel like they better understand if you say indigenous, but barely.
Yeah,
I understand it barely.
I think when people say indigenous, like, I think they got to be very clear because people use indigenous, native, and Indian all interchangeably, and it's wrong. So right. So
That there are natives, and I also let people know, like, hey, you have Black natives.
well, all natives are okay. So natives are
They want to. I know they don't call themselves Black.
no, they do. So native is either white or Black in this country. That's it. And the native whites are the early British people, the early French and Germans, but definitely British. Like, these are the native whites. And then the native Blacks is us exclusively. It's nobody else. That's a mixture of people who served on plantations. Right. So that's why, like, when you guys say you're indigenous, you guys got to go and clarify, what do you mean indigenous? Because once you're done clarifying, you might not fit the definition of the indigenous.
Right.
Yeah. So some people might be using the word and it doesn't cover them.
That's true. That's also true.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't understand that, though, especially if you're talking to someone like an African. They really don't get it. I think they do get it. I think they honestly refuse to get it.
I don't know if they get it because sometimes I don't get it because the people who use those terms are not clear what they mean. Like I said, I just said native Black American. I define what it is. It's typically somebody mixed with European, preferably it's going to be like German or some type of Briton European, or European, African, indigenous. That is typically what a native Black American. So now an indigenous person, what is that? Because people got different definitions.
No, I don't think they get it because even if they hear the term indigenous, right, they will still argue the fact that you're native. And it's like, we're not talking about Native Americans. I'm like,
okay, so here's the thing. What they are calling Native Americans ain't Native Americans. So
just white people.
okay, right, but well, it depends because there are Native white Americans, but when right, but when people just say Native Americans, that's a misnomer. That's not a real identification for anybody. That's like African. Who's really an African? So when people say Native American, I want to know who you're talking about, because that term does not apply to white people. What applies to white people is native white American. The word white got to be there. And what applies to us is native Black American. If you just leave that Native American, everybody's confused on who you're talking to, but a lot of people like to, when people say Native Americans, a lot of people really mean indigenous people. So what I'm saying is the confusion sometimes is on them. They don't know what they're saying and they don't know how to articulate it. So they are confusing people. When I had a sister calling yesterday, she said she was Indian. So I already knew she was confused. That's 3 months. Okay. I said, sis, when you say you're Indian, are you trying to say you're native or indigenous? and she didn't know. So I was like, okay, well, first of all, Indian ain't. I said, first of all, Indian ain't the best term to use anyway. Say that again. Now hold on, but some of us, okay, do you have any African ancestry at all? All right, yeah, that's a fact. Like most of us rely on like some type of history, and that's why we accept African ancestry, right? Okay, so now here's the thing: in not every indigenous person is part of the we, our, us, right? So that got to be very. So when people say indigenous, I'm like, well, shit, it's 50-50. You one of us and you ain't. It's 50-50 because us went through an ethnogenesis. Some indigenous folks went through it too, and some didn't. Some stayed on their whatever their reservation, whatever that. Okay. Now, what makes do you know what makes us foundational in this country? Mm-hmm.
Tell me.
Slave force. Now it is I'll tell you, forced slave labor.
Yeah, I was gonna say that.
Okay. Wait, the we is a question mark there. What we? Because all indigenous people didn't serve on a plantation and were forced to do slave labor. So they wouldn't be part of the we. They'll be outsiders like Haitians and Africans.
Right? A lot of my people went working. Yeah. Job in the 16 and 1700s, and you're black.
Well, think if they're working and they're not forced to do work, then they are not foundation because the foundation was built on involuntary work. It wasn't willing. So what makes us different? Huh?
Then what would they be?
They would be somebody. They could be indigenous, and that, but they're not foundational. So that means that they were working to build what they want to build for themselves. But whitey people use my ancestors to build America, to lay the foundation, to the skyscrapers, the railroads, the coal mines, the steel mills, the tobacco, sugar, rice, cotton. Yeah, yeah. So
They were working in the coal mines in Virginia, and I'm like,
wait, no, but that's way later though. So the coal mine thing came in like I think 1880s. I think we were doing that with the Irish. Was doing that with some Chinese people. Yeah, that was way later. I'm talking about 16, 1700s.
yeah, I'm talking the 16, 1700s as well.
Yeah, now I don't think no coal mining was done at that time. Now, if they were okay, so if okay, so but they could have came.
Oh,
Well, I mean,
I ain't gonna lie, I have a lot of questions.
yeah, yeah, you might want to uh do some research on that. 'Cause I'm telling you, if they were getting paid, then I don't know. That's not good. That means that they were rolling with white supremacy, not getting rolled over by white supremacy.
It's messed.
Catch that Negro. Whitey, get him. I'll help you. I got him.
Lord.
This guy was slave catchers. I got him. Good white man, I got him. His name is Unbiased Ron. I got him. I call Unbiased Ron. We got him. Let's string him up. Yeah.
I said, what the fuck is this?
Mm-hmm.
What is this?
Mhm.
But it can also mean indigenous. And it can also mean they knew they were African. It can mean so many
Well,
things.
no, they weren't African because Africans, they ain't come here doing work. They ain't get paid. They were forced against their will. If you were African, you were not getting paid.
My people, they were the men of my
Hmm?
family. And then they were definitely enslaved. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? That shit pissed me off. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah.
I'm not looking at it.
So what you should do, what you should do is find out what type of work they were doing. Then we could pinpoint exactly who they were because there's only a certain amount of because I know I know this the early Europeans that came over at that time were like blacksmiths and they had like some work they were doing that was different from us. But yeah, so
You know, I feel like all our ancestors were enslaved, women and men.
yeah, I'm with well I know mine were yes I'm with you on that one.
Now, mine were not the man for some freaking reason, but the women were. And that's why it's just like, what is going on? I wasn't expecting, you know, if you do your genealogy and you look at that stuff, but it's like, wow.
Where
For me.
where well, no. Oppression, no, we do got to do oppression Olympics. All oppression ain't the same. Because if that's the case, the Irish people could say, stop whining. The Italians could say, stop whining. The Japanese could say, stop whining. No. Oppression varies. People went through more things than other people.
Varies.
Yeah.
Says, look,
I'm listening.
slavery is, regardless, is hard. I mean, like, it's oppressive.
Okay. Go on.
So you're trying to say if it's women or men? I mean,
Oh, I get what you're saying. I think I understand where you're coming from.
My own lineage. I'm not saying that men were going through slavery. There are slavery. My bad. Pronunciation, right?
okay.
But I'm not saying that because there were men, but there were also men when I did my genealogy that were not. I'm like, I'm not sure if they were going through slavery or not because they were getting paid.
What?
That's what I said. Like,
What are you talking
you know, where you look, they might have been. Now she talking about. He said decade.
about?
Dude, that's a lot of money during that time. Yeah. Them dudes might have been white people. I don't know. It might have.
Shit. You upset. Don't be upset. I'm telling you my lineage. Trust me.
Yeah.
Looking at my shit myself. I was low key ashamed.
You should be. There's some.
I should. They were.
Yeah. Well,
And
maybe that wasn't your genealogy. Maybe you was looking at your slave master genealogy.
no, I was not. You know what?
Wait. How do you date back to the 16? Wait, how do you date back to the 1600s?
Because most of the people in my family were in the army.
Girl, shut the fuck up.
Don't ask me a question and get mad at the answer.
I'm sorry. You just sound delusional as fuck.
Oh, goddamn it, build me a fucking time machine so I can change it. You think I like looking at that shit? The
You
fuck
think
you want me to do?
you don't like looking at your reflection? That's what you're trying to say? That's what you're saying.
There is no need for you to be goddamn disrespectful, African.
African. Yes, I am African American. You don't like dark skin.
Okay. I never said that I had a problem with my skin tone because ancestry,
Wait.
Your turn.
Wait. Let's hold on. Wait, reel it back. Okay.
You sound crazy.
Yeah, and I ain't gonna lie, it does sound like a little. Wait, hold on. But I'm gonna tell you why. Hold on. I'm gonna tell you why. Hold on. Wait, I'm gonna tell you why. Wait, hold on, bro. Hold on. Let's move forward because we're talking in circles. We're saying the same thing over and over. All right, I'm gonna tell you why it sounds crazy. Because you. Now listen. Hold on. Wait, hold on. I got it.
Just shut up.
So you said something about the army. That's why he said what he said. Because you said army, like your army, army in the 1600s. Like you kind of threw us off with that one. Like, wait, what that got to do with tracing genealogy to the 1600s? People in the army.
You know what? I don't like talking about it. Just to get off of it.
All right.
Telling you my genealogy. What the fuck do you want me to do? Build a time machine and go change it?
Were you sipping? Were you sipping when you looking at your genealogy?
I was so respect.
No, that.
That's what I saw.
Anyway, but you're right though. Now you're right though. You said change the topic.
You need a time machine or something?
But we're gonna do is hold on, honeymoon. We're gonna do it. I got you. What we're gonna do is change the topic. What's on, brother? What you want to talk about? That's not related to that. That sounded crazy. Nah, I want us to change the topic.
All right, let's change the topic.
Yeah, that's better. All right, I'll let brother go ahead and lead the new topic.
I can't even hear him.
Yeah, you want to lead the new topic? Can you hear him, sis? Or is he fading out? And
I can't hear him.
whose smoke detector is going? Wow. Yeah, that thing's screaming, change me.
Change it.
Can't reach it.
You need a ladder.
Yeah, she's funny.
Change it. It's so hard.
Is that high? Damn, yo, who put it up there? God?
Somebody said, I don't know what they made it so hard.
The Most High put that thing up there. The Most High said, just call him, he'll change
Your head.
it.
You get your black ass.
Yeah. All I need, I don't need a ladder. I just need a chair. That's it.
No, you can't even reach it with the chair. Let me tell you why you can't. Put your hand where my small detector is at, right? Like, it's right over the stairs.
Okay.
It's like, I don't know why they put it right over the stairs. So I never tried to change it because I'm like, I'm going to fucking fuck myself up.
They probably knew the person who's moving in was a woman, so they're like an inside joke. Like, yo, let's put it over here. so she can't reach it when it. yeah. That thing was beeping for 2 years straight.
Man, hear me out.
Yeah, but did you hear him? Because he said he couldn't hear us, but I think that was his connection going out.
He heard us.
Okay.
He heard us. He just wanted to argue. And I'm like, sometimes people want to argue.
So So you home? Where you coming from?
Ohio.
No, I'm saying like your day, like you're home now, but where were you at before you went home?
Baby, I went to sleep and I woke up in my home.
So you ain't go out?
It's a lot of energy out there. I don't like too much. If I don't have to go out, I won't go out.
Okay. All right. What's his sign?
Leo,
I swear I was gonna say that.
you was gonna say I was a Leo.
I was gonna say Pisces first.
Word.
I was gonna say, nah, hell, that's the worst sign. That's one of the worst signs on earth. I was gonna say Leo. I was gonna say Pisces first and then Leo. That was my order.
I'm a Leo. Actually, my birthday is next week. But you gonna give me something for my birthday?
Yeah.
You better. What's your sign?
Best sign on earth. God sign, Sagittarius.
Oh Lord.
That's God's sign himself. That's Jesus' sign. That's Moses' sign. That's Allah's sign.
There.
You know what I'm saying?
And my moon sign is in Sagittarius.
Your moonshine. Oh, you've been sipping.
Moon sign.
Oh, okay. Okay. Moon sign. It's Sagittarius. You see what I'm saying? See how that works?
And my mom's Sagittarius.
And your mom is great, right? Right. Okay. Yeah. See what I'm saying? You probably can't match her greatness, so you hate a little bit. But your mom is Sag, so she got that greatness inside her. It's undeniable.
My mom is a very wonderful woman. She's so pretty. She be pissing me off sometimes.
Yeah, because
She say this, that an ugly fire sign. Have you?
nah, I don't think so either. Yeah, I got it. I gotta say you right on that.
I never met a fire sign who was like a struggle in the face. They be looking good.
You know, try to do what it do.
They can do what they do, baby.
Yes, ma'am. So, anyway, you out there in Ohio, you said?
Yeah.
Ain't there like a lot of Haitians out there?
Right now, yeah.
And what part? I forgot what part of Ohio.
Springfield. And they're starting to actually come down here in Cincinnati. I'm in Cincinnati.
How far is that from Springfield? Oh, geez.
72 is set where they say you need to have it at. And I am done with that.
Do you see them often?
Oh, yeah. It's these times. Yes, I do see them out here.
How they behaving? They okay? They cool or what?
They actually
We already know that. And none of them pass their driving test legitimately. Like the government gave them one just for the hell of it. That was part of the TPS agreement. Just here go a license. Figure it out on the road.
The Haitian man, they are so rude and disrespectful. And this is why I'm going to give Black American men a big up every time. Because the Haitian men and also the Africans, they come into our community because it's only an hour away. That ain't nothing.
Oh, right.
And they come down here like night and they try to trick. They try to trick with the women.
Any shortages of dogs lately or no?
I ain't seen a shirt dog in a long time.
Do you see any dog signs, missing dogs on the telephone pole, nothing like that?
The people here in Ohio and Springfield are not lying on them.
About what? What they doing? Oh.
They do.
Wait, now you can't say that, but you got to say they be grubbing, or
Yeah, or were they group because of the things you shouldn't eat, they eat.
Damn.
And I don't like the fact that they try to say that Trump, they like Trump lying on us. No, the fuck he is not.
He's not.
He is not.
I mean, there's overwhelming evidence of folks. Why do you think the leader name is barbecue? Like, you think that's by coincidence? The Haitian's leader. Why do you think that his name is barbecue? Jimmy Barbecue.
Who is that?
That's the Haitian. That's the guy they all running from. Their leader. That's why they over here right now. They running from Jimmy Barbecue. That's his real name.
Wow.
Yeah. Now, don't ask why they running from him, because it ain't the reason why they say it is.
To somebody in the comments, they're talking about Cincinnati, right? They are starting to burn themselves down here in Cincinnati at a Springfield. And you know what, the Haitian men be coming down here. They think we all tricks and sluts. I can't even walk. I can barely walk to the store in peace.
Really? They out there beeping the horn, staring at people driving?
No, what I mean is they see the woman, like American woman, right? And they be trying to, oh yeah, come on, get in the car, get in the car. And I'll be so disgusted with that because I don't sell no pooch. And I'm not mad at anyone, anybody. If you know that's what you do, that's what you do. But it pisses me off to say, it's like, why are you so comfortable?
Hey, Hassan, man, invite yourself up, bro. Let me invite you up because he's saying there's no Haitians in Cincinnati.
Yes, it is. Yeah. Yes, it is now. Yes, they are here now. And they're wreaking havoc and they blame the woman. They're not. You probably, sir, don't see the Haitians, but as a woman, I do see the Haitians. I can't walk in peace to the store when it get dark.
Damn. They beasting like that.
Mm-hmm.
They be trying to holler. They said they be trying to holler in flip flops.
Man, they pull up in the cars.
Flip flops and N1 shorts. Flip flops and N1 basketball shorts with a soccer jersey.
Man, it's crazy.
They still wait. Do they still dress like that? Flip flop N1 basketball. Hey.
Understand why they still thinking you in America washing your hands.
Well, they be having traditions. Like I remember that one that one Sudanese woman that was talking to Tariq Nasheed. She said that she was in Australia, and he brought up on bush. He brought up bush meat. She said, "I don't eat bush meat." So he brought up zebras urinating in their hair, and she's like, "Yeah, we do that." And she said that with pride. Yeah. So then he was, they like rhinos, everything, just urinate all over them. So then he was like, "So how long you been in Australia?" She's about 3 years. He's like, "So who been peeing your hair in Australia? Kangaroos?" Like, what animal out there is doing a job? You know what I mean?
Happy across the world. And then it's another thing that's crazy as hell to me. They say that they are Black Americans.
Oh.
They will go to these countries and they say that they're Black Americans.
Yeah, so and you know why? They can do that because that's pretty much an immigrant term. That's why we have marked words on top of Black American and before and afterwards. So we have, like, they can never say they can say they're Black American and lie, but they can, because you know what? They can say, hey, I'm part of the Black race and I have my American citizenship. So technically, I'm Black American. But what they cannot say is that they're a native Black American. Those white people are gonna look at them like they're crazy. Like, you ain't nothing about you, because native Black Americans got a certain look. And we don't look like that. We don't look like that. We got a certain look, and we don't look like that. Wait, it depends. It depends. Like Wait, yeah, it does.
Look, it doesn't depend in my mind because they're going out their way to look like.
No, I ain't talking about that. I ain't talking about
No
that.
sense to me.
No, I ain't talking about that. 'Cause when you say, because there's a lot of Africans, right? There's South Africans there, East, North, West, Central. So some Africans.
I'm not talking about South.
So which one? No, no. Which one you talking about? West?
They know they look different. They know they don't. But they know this.
So you don't think Garvey looked like one of us? Really?
It's a super fucking African. I think he look like us at all.
You don't think Wesley Snipes kind of look like Godfrey?
No.
Really? Okay.
Absolutely not.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, I ain't gonna lie. I'm gonna say some Africans do look like it, and some don't.
Yeah, some of them are starting to look like us because they're going out their way to look like us.
Now, I looked at some I looked at some Africans who I really couldn't tell. Like I was just really, and then there was an African garment. I really couldn't tell. Like I was being honest because I was believing that too. Like they didn't look like us. I'm looking like nah, she looked like us.
No, we don't though. The Africans do not look South Africans. Yeah, possibly. You can't find a South African.
All right, so look, wait. All right, so hold on. We got a guest. What's up, family?
So, what is this?
Uh, just open talk. Like, what's in your mind? Anything going on? Anything you disagree with? You want some questions answered? Wait, you got to ask him. What country? What's your background? Yeah, or from? Wait, hey, bro, you got to speak up, man. It sounds like you hide for somebody. Yeah, bro, you talking like really low.
Where's your country and speak up? We can't hear you.
You said South America?
Yes. So,
You said North South America? What do you say?
yeah, no, so,
He said North South America. Where is North South America?
No.
Okay.
There's no such thing. So now, he just trolling.
I know he's true. That's why I asked him. Where is North South America located?
Yeah. He's from the dustiest part of Africa. The like he's from the desert. There ain't nothing but dust, nothing but dust, dust and lizards and cactuses. That's the part of Africa he's from. My man can't even make a dirt cookie because there ain't no damn water. Yeah, you know. But yeah, you know what? But that just show how popping like we are. Like we ain't even talk about nothing crazy.
Now, with every group and what and as far and I was trying to tie what group as far as the zodiac, right? And I said Black Americans are Leos. And then what do you mean? I said, I didn't know this is right. I got sleep, but we are the group. And we literally
No. Black Americans are Sagittarius. I'm not buying that. No, South Africans are Leo. Like nah, you talking about those South Black Bantu folks, Leos. Yeah, my man said he from North South America. Yeah, the tethering is ridiculous.
Yeah, same that. Like that.
Oh, you can't, man. Yeah, my man got a whole musty flag. I didn't even see that musty flag in his portfolio. Like, dude, ain't nothing about you American, my guy. Dude, my man got a whole musty flag right there. Talking about he North South America. Nah, yo, that no, we didn't ask you where you trying to flee to. My guy, we didn't ask you what countries or what location are you trying to flee to. He thought that was a question. We're talking about North, South America. No, we asked you your homeland, my guy.
South America.
Okay? So we're not asking y'all where y'all trying to flee to. We're asking you your country of origin, your ethnic background. That's the question. What is your ethnic background? Yeah, in a second, honeymoon, yo, that alarm is beep. In a second, I'm gonna need you to hold it down and start talking because I gotta run this store and try to get this, get my phone. Because my backup, I gotta get this fixed. So I'm nah, you're gonna be, nah, you're gonna be 5 minutes. That's it.
5 minutes
Yeah,
is like a long time. But
nah,
go ahead.
yeah,
Go ahead. Get your phone. You sure you want me? I
yeah.
don't think you want me to run it. I'm because I'll be
Nah,
asking.
when you be banned, you can't do that.
I'm gonna just shut my mouth in.
Nah, but you gotta know you can't be quiet. Maybe what's the point of continuing? All right, well, I'm up here. I mean, we play a video. Yeah, we play a video. Uh, yeah, because yeah, I don't trust you. Yeah, I don't trust you. We play a video.
And don't trust me because they gonna have me fuck.
Ah, you can stop saying the same curse. Stop saying the curse back. All right. Anyway, hold on. We play a video. Hold on 1 second. Oh yeah, so the brother earlier talked about pulling resources, maybe starting a business with other Native Black Americans. You know, he was saying, you could do some gas stations, which is a good idea, but it gotta be a good location. Um, you know, whatever. Farming, which I don't. I'm not a big supporter of people talk about farming because we talk about that for ages and nobody ever does it. So I don't believe like that's a realistic something that folks really want to do like that. I think there's some people out there that do it, but I don't think an investment. I don't think people really want to live on a farm. What you think? Nelly said, "What you think we live on a farm? Be for real. We got man,
Straight up Alabama, baby.
man, you just said nobody in your lineage did labor on a plantation.
No, I never said that.
Yes, you
I
did.
never said that. No, I did not. No, I did not.
All right. So hold on. Let me play the commercial break for like.
You know what? How about I just jump up this phone and whoop your ass?
Ain't gonna catch me. Sagittarius are fast.
Yeah,
You did.
than me. Like quicker than me, nigga.
Hey, yeah. Well, normally I'm not. You start look, look. Normally I'm not quicker than you, but when you, yeah.
Hey, I'll be working happy. Yeah.
Hey, yo, somebody called Cap in Alabama. They said what part? He said no.
Well, tell him to shut the fuck up talking to me then.
All right, come on with the language. You have to get me shadow banned and kicked off and
I
restricted.
mean, dang, don't talk to me like that.
Yeah. You be shadow banned, restricted, and kicked off.
trying to get you settled in.
All right, let me play my. All right, no more questions for it, kid. All she can do is cuss. All right, let me play my commercial real fast.
Real good, dog.
Yeah.
Because of real.
I don't know, but here's the commercial. Let me back it up.
Go back it up, baby. You know I love you, signs of terror. I'll be out here breaking that.
Hold on, hey, you can't talk over the video. Hold on a second. Cause it's a good message here. I want you guys to hear that. I'm gonna build them when I come back. All right.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Uh-huh. Huh?
Oh, damn, yo. You heard everything, and the YouTubers heard nothing. I forgot to share the audio. All right, but anyway, YouTubers, I did play this earlier. All right, and he played it earlier. So this was his video. So just a nutshell, everything he said is 100% accurate, and that's exactly what I do. Like I'm a guy who do not, and this is just me. I'm not putting this on y'all. I'm a guy who do not like to work 8 hours, right? So, but I want a full-time income. You dig? I want a 40-hour plus income. So that means with that type of standard, you have to be an entrepreneur. Right? You're not gonna. It's not too many jobs you're gonna get where you work 4 or 5 hours and you get paid like you work 40 to 50 hours. You dig? So that's why I started my own business. But what he's saying is actually correct. I work. I'm never there long. I work because resources got low, and it's to fund the business to get it back jump started. You feel me? And that's what we're doing right now. So I don't really get started until the summer, September. September is when I get started because I do after school programs. So it makes sense that I build it up now, so I'm lit when school starts in August, early September, right? And I probably gonna be like, unless I want to save hella dough, I'm probably gonna be 4 or 5 hours again. But before the pandemic, for like 5, 7 years, I only worked 4 or 5 hours a day. That's it. And I was going live, you know what I mean? And people see how I was living. And they I worked 4 or 5 hours a day and I was getting paid like a rock star, you feel me? But the pandemic crushed it because everything was closed and shit like that. So I had to start all over again and build it back up. So I started working to build it back up. And in September gonna be my grand opening again. You dig? But everything he said was actually correct. That's exactly how I look at companies that I work for. I look at that as something temporary, or I try to get a skill from that company. So, so I say anybody who has dreams of entrepreneurship, you might want to work for a company and get taught on their dime how to manage people. Right? You could be a manager at Walmart, Walgreens, a fast food restaurant. Don't be ashamed. Look at it as they are paying you to become your own boss and the boss of people. Because what happens is people get into entrepreneurship and they hire people, and without skills on how to handle a team, like you learn the worst way. Like there's attitudes you gotta cope with. So get that experience on somebody else's dime. Don't get that experience on your dime because you're gonna lose. But on a job, you get paid regardless of your staff. Yeah, so everything he was saying was like straight up uh game. Yeah, so I'm gonna tell you right now, the entrepreneur game ain't for everybody, man. Listen, if you fail, is you. If you succeed, is you. Everything is nobody to point at, and you gotta handle all problems. You gotta fix them all, no matter if you cause a problem or not. You are at your job. You ain't responsible for that. But your stuff, you're responsible for everything, and all the complaints they come to you directly. You did customer satisfaction, it come to you. You got to address that. And your business is everything. You handle that thing wrong, people spread that bad mouth game on your business, and you're gonna see you go nowhere. You dig? You can't be talking like honeymoon, screaming and cussing at people, because you're gonna be bankrupt really soon selling that business. You dig? Anyway, let it continue. Okay. Yeah. Oh, my fault. Ah. Yeah, I'll be right back, family. I got my laptop and they didn't change the password. And I holler back at y'all. Thank you for showing support. But then the video ended way earlier. But who requested? Oh. Well, anybody want to hop on? Anybody is specifically African Caribbean origin? God damn, broke my damn thumb. There, damn, broke my thumb. Yo, I can't stand this heat, man. My God, man. It's either cold as crap or it's hot as crap. Why the spring couldn't be for like 6 months? Okay, man. So this is what I want. I want somebody to call up who thinks delineation who questions delineation or they think is unnecessary. I think we ain't talk about that in a minute. You dig? We've been talking about everything under the sun. Let's get back to the root of everything. So anybody that questions delineation or even want to talk about how great it is, you dig? But I think we need to get back to the talking points. It's been getting too wild lately. You dig? Honeymoon finally fell asleep. You know what I mean? That liquor finally caught up. She didn't passed out. She said moonshine. I'm like, yo, that sounds too much like moonshine. She said moonshine. And I'm like, honeymoon, that sounds too much like moonshine. I think you had a lot of moonshine today. I think one of those Haitians dropped it off and bounced, trying to get you tipsy. So you could everybody in the club getting tipsy. He tried to get you tipsy so he can double back. See how much of that moonshine you drunk and be like, yo, you good? You need a ride? You want to take a trip to Haiti? You want to meet Jimmy Barbecue? You feel me? Yeah, but for those who know I dropped my laptop off, I just wanted a price and I never got a price. They just fixed the damn thing. And like I call, can't get in contact with nobody. So I just called today for an update. And I knew they was gonna do this. I knew it would just be fixed. You did. I get there. Yeah, it's fixed. Like, what you mean fixed? I never said all right, whatever. Yeah, just how much? How much? As long as it ain't something crazy. Then they give it to me. Don't ever tell me it's there. They got my phone number, never calls me. Never calls me, never calls. And then I go to put my password in. Password don't work. So I'm like, I wonder if he changed my password because I ain't come pick it up because they never told me it was ready. Come pick it up and they think I wasn't gonna pay whatever. He just like line it up for him to sell or take. So I called them up to like, yo man, what's the password? They do the whole me no speak English thing. So I'm like, oh shit. So I'm heading back there now to get the new password that they changed it to. Cause I didn't put my password in. Like they even got my password on the receipt. So I'm like, yeah, so come on, dude. Yeah, I literally changed the password. I call up, God don't speak no English. Like, yeah, how you answer a phone? Retail store answer the phone and don't speak no English. Like ICE know exactly where to go. You're a retail store who sell to all type of people that speaks English. And my man speaks no English. You need to walk, man. Get your big ass out there and walk. Sitting on her porch. All right. Yeah, and I don't know why, man. Like, but the audio when I share my videos on YouTube, it keeps disconnecting. Every time I say it wasn't me. I thought I forgot to, connect it, but I did. Cause I see just now it was off again. If you looking for ocean, talk to me. So now I gotta go back there. Like, yo, what is my password, man? I tried password, I tried my phone number, I tried their phone number. I'm like, yo, come on, man. You feel me? So let me head back in there. Okay.
Peace to the Saints. We are here today with a conversation. I have invited now a total of 11 South Africans to have this conversation, the overwhelming majority of which have no showed. But with the folks online, we'll have this discussion about the rising tide of xenophobia that has been documented in the world's media. And it's primarily against Black Africans, not against the whites, not against the Asians, not against the coloreds, but against the Black Africans.
So
Imagine
I'm starting to get like agent vibes on Marquette, Devon Burton. He keeps calling Africans Black, and he's overemphasizing Black Africans. Black, dude. Yo, they're just Africans, my guy. They're not Black. They're just African. They're not Black Africans. They're just Africans, my guy. Like, so he got this weird agenda where he wants African and Black to be synonymous. And I already know Buddy's a Pan-African. He's got these alleged businesses in Africa where he employ Africans. He never talk about businesses in America. He never talks about employing Americans. It's always about South Africa and employing South Africa. He debates South Africa. Everything's about South Africa. Like, dude, you're Pan-African, my guy. Just keep it real. But what's annoying to me is that he keep trying to make Black and African synonymous. So I would love, I would love to have a conversation with this guy, not on his platform, because he don't let nobody talk. He got to come over here, and I would love to understand why he keeps saying Black South African. Bro, just say South African. Okay? Dude, your audience is like predominantly FBA. If you say South African, we automatically think of an African. We don't think of a white guy. Now, when you say Africaner, we might think of a white guy.
Called illegal as an African in Africa. I'm going to yield the floor for the folks online to introduce themselves, and we'll proceed from there.
Hi everyone, my name is Ramadan. I'm Congolese. I've been living in South Africa for about 15, 16 years now, and I'm glad to be here.
There's never any parking.
Greetings, Molweni, everyone. I'm both in the diaspora and in the continent. I'm Special Mbande, but you can call me Special.
Okay, so I'm gonna tell you straight up. He keeps calling them Black African so much, they're gonna start calling themselves Black African. Watch. Now they would normally just call themselves African, but because he's forcing that down their throats, they're gonna say Black African.
I'm from the Xhosa tribe, here in the Eastern Cape in South Africa. I'm glad to be here.
Good to have you. And we just added one last gentleman on. We yield the floor for you to introduce yourself.
Oh, hello. I'm Sammy. I'm actually South African, but I'm based in the UK.
Okay.
Yeah, thanks.
So you are South African. You're currently based in the United Kingdom.
Yeah.
Okay, fantastic. And of those on the call right now, and mind you, to all of these South Africans, they often, whine and complain and claim.
In our family, notice how nobody called himself a black person. Everybody said they were some type of African. This guy with his agenda that he called him black. Nobody introduced themselves as black. But this weirdo keep insisting on calling them black. Wink, wink. Hey, you're South African. You're black. Wink, wink. You're black. You're black South African. Wink, wink. Wink, wink. You're black. This weirdo guy. He keeps calling them South African. Everybody introduced themselves, and nobody said they're black. They said Hausa, South African, everything but the word black. But this weirdo keeps calling them black. That's why I'm looking at Buddy like a little agent, He got this weird agenda where he wants African and black to be synonymous.
That they're misrepresented. I've provided all of them the opportunity to come on and represent themselves and their claims, and they're not here. I think that's
right,
because
but they did represent themselves and they didn't say black. So stop calling them black. But family, he's still gonna call them black. Watch.
they know that the truth does not favor them. And during this conversation, we will explore and seek to find out what the truth is. For those of you on the call,
I can already know you're gonna cut them off and nobody gonna be able to talk. You're gonna do all these goddamn rabbit holes. All the debates go down rabbit holes.
currently, are any of you in favor of what is currently going on in South Africa in terms of the aggressions taken toward the Black Africans?
No, not at all.
No.
Africa is for all Africans, so I stand by Africans.
In terms of the reaction, in terms of physical violence, extremely out of order. However, the conversation in general, I'm in favor of in-depth conversations rather than talking about the reactions to certain things. I do think this topic deserves a lot more in-depth interest and discussion.
Okay, so let's be more straightforward then. Are you in favor of stopping or reducing Black African immigration into South Africa?
I believe many South Africans in my history as a South African, believe most Black South Africans have a positive view towards Africa and our role in Africa, so our African brothers and sisters. However, I believe that as Africans in general, whether South African or Africans who are not South African, we have all unfortunately have to have the consequences of our governments that have yielded results that have put us sort of in opposition against each other rather of against the topic at hand. So I do believe that the reaction in terms of physical violence is sad because at the end of the day, we are brothers and sisters. As Africans, and then I think South Africans in general, knowing our history, it's how do I say, it should be condemned. I believe that we should hold ourselves and our own people accountable for our faults. However, we should not be scared to tell the truth that might be uncomfortable to people in fear that people might judge us or put us into boxes. So I would say I try not to be too emotional about the topic.
Do you recall what the question was?
Whew. I played the middle politics, didn't I? I did not declare a side.
Yes, my fear with you, and everyone will have to forgive me if I'm a bit shorter than usual, for I'm on an hour of sleep, but I still think with that hour I can manage fairly well in this conversation. So my eerie feeling is that you typify South Africans, which is to say a Black human who is merely Black on the outside and wholly white on the inside, victim of their ideology, which is quite wicked. You are a liberal white woman. You're operating currently as a politician which is to say one who is not telling the truth. The hallmark of the Black people, we don't excel in too many things, but one thing that you can find in the Black peoples, wherever you find them, whether it's in Jamaica, it's in the United States, it's in West Africa, East Africa, or Southern Africa, is we can make it plain, we can tell the truth. But we find when you all have been influenced by the whites, you start to talk like them, you're deceptive. So I'm going to repeat my question and you can try to just answer it honestly instead of trying to fool people. Do you believe that the immigration of Black Africans should be stopped or reduced in South Africa?
I do believe it should be reduced, only because an overrider system. So if I have a certain amount of resources, the system will collapse.
Sure.
It was not designed, right, to take in an influx of resources. However, the human desire may be to accept all visitors. It's the same operation if I have guests into my own home. I would love to cater for all of them, but I can only do so for a certain period of time. I cannot do that on a continual basis. Otherwise, my own home, my own children or sisters and brothers will struggle. However, this thing of saying that Africans in general should not be allowed into the country, in this case, South Africa, I don't believe.
Now, notice how they keep calling themselves African. Why is this weirdo keep calling them Black? Black, and he keep he's saying it where he wants them to start using it. These Black South Africans, these Black South Africans. But every chance they talk, they just say South African, Bantu, Hausa. This weird agenda he got, bro. Like I've been peeped that. I tell you, I'm a guy who's great at pattern recognitions, and they just come by themselves. I don't even try to connect dots a lot of times. Sometimes it just be in my head. I'd be like just doing my own thing, and it just start connecting. Like, yo, this dude keep calling these South Africans Black more than they call themselves South African or Black. Listen,
that at all.
You're double speaking. Go ahead.
Can I say something? I just want to say something, like, based on what you said, that based on the resources that you have in the country, you are worried that there won't be enough left for your offsprings, correct?
No, it's not a worry. It's based. I'm going to give you a live example. I was more on the pro-African topic, where I totally can't. I'm very. If I'm as you can say, maybe this is an influence of my liberal education, but I'm more of an open borders personality. But I had to question myself when there was a situation. Let me give you an example. Earlier in South Africa, when it talks about school placements. So in South Africa, we are blessed to have free public school for all primary and South African students. So there's a specific amount of placements left. So I schooled in private school. So personally, I was very open. Public school does not affect me. However, when I saw many South African students being left outside that, and we saw our own African brothers and sisters. However, there was a lot of corruption involved, right, in this public school system, where certain nationalities, right, outside of South Africans would bribe.
She said, our African brothers and sisters. Family, you heard this woman call themselves Africans. But this alleged agent, Marquette, keep calling them Black. So now you hear the South Africans talk. None of them don't call themselves Black so far. All right. Now watch this guy go to talk. He's gonna call them Black, and I'm gonna rest my case. And I'm gonna use this footage again when I go live tomorrow morning. Like the agenda is ridiculous.
The officials so that their children get a playlist. So, for example, there was one family found to have 6 of their children, so 6 brothers and sisters in the same school, right? And then there were South African kids. I remember because
I gotta highlight that South African,
an associate,
not Black kids, South African kids. Watch the guy Marquette.
It went to the beach to go and question these kids who are, why you're not in school? And they said, no, we do not get a placement at this
Madam,
specific.
you've been educated in South Africa, correct?
Yes.
Do you believe it was a good education? You received?
I believe that.
That's
no,
a yes
I
or
believe
no.
that.
Did you receive a good education? Yes or no?
By Western standards, yes.
Excellent. Now, when you are substantiating an argument, an anecdote or a story is insufficient.
By the way,
tell
he
you
does that all the time. He does that all the time. He bring up his business, his money, his education. He does the anecdotal thing every debate.
This number of stories, they have no meaning. And what's more, they could be false. Now, you spoke of a zero-sum game, suggesting that allowing the Black Africans into South Africa would somehow take...
Did he just say Black South Africans? You got a bunch of Africans on the panel. They all introduced themselves as Hausa, South African. Nobody said the word Black. She talked about South African kids. She talked about the South African public schools. She said South African, South African, South African. She said nothing about Black. This Ninja Turtle dude now, yeah, I mean, what's up? That's plain as day. That's plain as day. She said nothing about Black. Everything's about South African people, South African boys, South African. She's South African. Everybody's South African. And when she says South African, she's talking about the Bantu people in South Africa. Okay? But the minute this guy goes to talk, he calls them Black South Africans. Family, why is he calling them Black and they're not calling themselves Black? Why is this so-called FBA dude, right, calling it South Africa, forcing South African down there? I'm sorry. Why is this alleged FBA guy forcing Black down South Africans' throats? Nobody introduced themselves as Black. He keeps trying to make Black and African synonymous for his own agenda, for his own Pan-African agenda. And I'm telling you, man, I've been peeped at watching debates. I'm like, damn, you called them Black more than they call themselves Black. And so far, nobody called himself Black. Only he's calling South Africans Black. We're trying to delineate, and this guy is trying to aggregate. He's leasing our lineage. He's calling them what we. I mean, like he's completely against delineation. This milk dud head dude is completely against delineation. All right, so now I'm gonna go back 10 seconds. She had a chance to talk. He even said, "You're South African." She said, "Yes." She didn't call nobody Black in South Africa. His first words were Black South African. Listen to this crazy dude.
I can tell you an endless number of stories. They have no meaning. And what's more, they could be false. Now, you spoke of a zero-sum game, suggesting that allowing the Black Africans into South Africa would...
Family, he said Black Africans. All right, hold on. He said Black Africans, family. And y'all trying to tell me I ain't catch nothing? I'm saying he's going to be, watch this dude, in less than 2 years, he's going to chimp out like 19 Z's. He's going to go all the way out and be 100% disrespectful when it's clear. When people like me be giving y'all the signs way in advance. I exposed Anton Daniels way before he got exposed. I exposed Professor Grift before he got exposed. I exposed Professor James Small before it was cool. I exposed who else? Lord Jamar as a cosplayer before it was exposed, and now I'm the first person to say this guy is the next one. He's the next one, family, and you're gonna see. He's forcing down Black into an African, and we're trying to delineate. It's like, dude, they're calling themselves what they actually are. They're African. My God, why are you trying to shove down their throat this Black thing? And family, he's saying it so often that he's kind of, if you think about it, he's kind of correcting them. Okay, in a way, he's trying to correct them. They're saying the right term. They're saying African. They're saying South African. And when he goes to talk, he keeps saying Black South African. So I can take that as he's trying to correct them. Like, yo, y'all using the wrong term. Y'all not African. Y'all Black African. Okay, let me make sure I ain't tripping. Make sure I ain't tripping. Y'all caught it, right? Or y'all ain't catch it? Because a lot of us be personality worshipers and not truth worshipers. You know, we don't stand on truth. We just worship. Oh, I like this guy. Yeah, but he's clearly got an agenda. And y'all only care when it's like out and open. That's when folks care all of a sudden. And then you want to get on the bandwagon. He says borderline hypnosis. Garvey and Clark is more than a pattern at this point. Right. I'm saying, man. And everybody love this guy. I'm like, yo, I don't see it. Yeah. Okay, so I'm making sure y'all do catch that, so I don't have to pause it as much. This guy keep saying Black South African. They ain't say Black at all. They just saying African. And like you said, borderline hypnosis. Like you're forcing it on them. And then at some point, at some point before this thing is over, they'll be calling themselves Black. And that's why I said, let me expose this guy early. I know it ain't cool to be the first person to expose people who are liked, who are beloved, because you become the hater. You become the mad rapper, you dig? It's like, yo, I really try to like, family, I've been felt this way on old buddy for over like a year, but I try to keep it on cold. Like, all right, nah, let them pass. Because his debates are horrible. And you'll see. All his debates become personal shots or what he got, the money and education and A, B, and C. A lot of his debates be about that. It don't be about the actual topic. And he's a tether to South Africans. He's in South African business trying to tell them how to run their country. He's undermining them. The same way we get mad at them, trying to tell us what to do in our country, undermining us. He's a tether version of them in South Carolina, in South Africa. I'm so FBA. I say South Carolina comes next. You dig? I'm so FBA. When I say South, I think of Carolina. I don't even think of Africa. I'm the furthest from a Pan-African. All right, let's get back to the video. This disgusting stuff he's doing. All right. Let's get to that. It's disgusting. And I was trying my hardest to like stay, okay, nope. I ain't gonna expose him. And like if y'all really was here, Donnie be here a lot. Y'all kind of seen some of the signs way back in like January. Cause I would play a video and I would have some type of criticism, but it'd be like low. It'd be like soft criticism. You dig? And I was trying like, no, I don't want to do it. I don't want to be the bad guy. You dig? People love this guy, whatever. I don't want to be the bad guy. But I'm like, yo, how much more, man? How much more can I take of this guy forcing our ethnicity on Africans? And they not even buying it. You dig? It ain't even working. They keep staying on what they are. They keep saying South African. All right. So it ain't even working.
That allowing the Black African to tell you an endless number of stories. They have no meaning. And what's more, they could be false. Now, you spoke of a zero-sum game, suggesting that allowing the Black Africans into
The Black Africans. This guy is weird with a disgusting, clear agenda.
South Africa would somehow take food out of the mouths of the Blacks that are already there.
Family. What was that? Come on. At some point, y'all got to say, I'm him. I pointed something out, and y'all could be like, nah, you chasing, you bugging. Right now, it got to be clear. It got to be clear. Black Africans, and then just flat out just call them Blacks. No longer African at all. Just blacks. Yo, this dude is disgusting, man. Disgusting.
The Zulu. What's more, they could be false. Now, you spoke of a zero-sum game, suggesting that allowing the black Africans into South Africa would somehow take food out of the mouths of the blacks that are already there. The Zulu.
And yo, did y'all see the heavy emphasis on blacks? The blacks that were like he's correcting them. The blacks that are already there. And they start naming a bunch of Africans, Zulus, and people who don't call themselves black at all. They call themselves Zulus and other nations he's gonna describe.
Xhosa and all these other tribes. But this is quite funny because if you look at who has the wealth in South Africa, it's the whites. So if your real goal is a scramble for wealth and resources, you would not be fighting against these poor blacks who are coming into your country.
Family, they're not even African anymore. He started off by calling them black Africans. Now, family, now he just flat out saying blacks. Yeah, I like that word hypnosis that you said, because as he like keeps saying it, it's like, yeah, like he's like hypnotizing them. And I guarantee you, they're gonna start saying it. They ain't said it yet. This guy said it a bunch of times. He made black and African interchangeable, and now he just completely usurped African into black. So now he's just saying blacks now. This dude is a demon. Or I exposed Dr. Mayat to another one.
You would be fighting against the ones who actually have the wealth, which are.
Now, this guy is minding Africans' business. Now, he's a so-called FBA who's a tether to Africans. You dig? Like, he's a tether to them. He's minding their business, trying to tell them what to do in their country.
Are the whites. It is in your cowardice that you ignore the most.
Now, is that debating, family? Now, he just said anecdotal. He's doing ad hominems. This guy is flat out just calling them names now. That's debating, bro. You're not debating. You're telling them. You're advising them, nigga. Dude, you're counseling them. That's not debating. You're telling them they're goofy because they're not taking your advice and your counsel. This dude is weird, yeah. And then look, he gets the fake little emotional outrage. Yeah, my man. I asked my man because like when I was questioning this guy back in 2025, I asked my man about him. My man, ex-architect, who be cooking these tethers. He's the one that infamously cooks stew peas. Like he's known for that debate. I play a lot. And when he was like, "Yeah, y'all just nurses. Y'all just good at cleaning up ASSs." You dig? He said, "You can't build a country being a nurse." Because the Jamaican dudes was over bragging about nurses that Jamaica produced. Like, yeah, you can't build a country up from nurses, dude. You got to be everything else but a nurse. So anyway, he's the guy that came up with EIC officially, ethnic inferiority complex, and he was like, "Yo, you should push that. You should definitely," and I did. Because he's not on social media. I'll be on a private phone call. He'll pull up once a year, something like that, twice a year, if anything. But I asked him about Marquette last year because I was like, man, I'm about to cook this dude. I said, you know what? Let me ask him around first. Let me see how people feel about him, and I won't, go crazy. I won't be off cold. So I was like, yo, how you feel about Marquette, the Saint Center? Yeah, his first words were, yo, yeah, the first thing he said, family, well, he's a cult leader. He was like, he's a cult leader. I was like, damn, I knew it wasn't just me.
Obvious target if your actual goal is to secure.
Hold on, honeymoon. I'm gonna get you after this video because I don't want you to interrupt the video. Okay, it's a long video. I got you though.
Your resources. You
And just to add
are
on to
one
that,
of the greatest victims. You are one of the greatest victims. The greatest victims. The whites operate inside of your mind. I typed in richest people in South Africa. South Africa is a black continent. Is that correct, madam?
Hey, family, is that confirmation? So he was subtly trying to introduce it to him. Now he's gonna directly force it on him. He said Africa, whatever. He said Africa is a black continent. Now he's gonna make her say yes. He said F with the hypnosis. Now I need you to go with this lie. I mean, family, what's up? Just type in him. Just type in him. You dig? I'm him. I sat here and said, this dude got an agenda. He giving agent vibes. He's a low-key Pan-African who will never admit it, but all he does is talk about Pan-Africanism. He talks about South Africans too much. He makes them black. Later on, he called them black Africans. They don't call themselves black Africans. They call themselves flat out Africans or by tribal name. He then started to make black and South African connect. He kept saying black Africans, black South Africans. And then he just stopped saying African altogether and started calling them black. And now he's going to make her agree that Africa is a black continent. What the, yo, oh my God. And this is all in how many? Family, he chimped out in less than 11 minutes. He just couldn't hold it anymore because he keeps saying black African, black, 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 and nobody's agreeing to that. They're still saying African. They're still saying South African, Hausa, Zulu. So now he had enough of it. Ma'am, ain't Africa, like, that's like a police officer saying, hey, can you step out the car? Now, he actually asked you a question, but the question was in, like, it was in passive aggression form. Like, you can say no because it's a question, but the way he asked it, because he opened your door, by the way, can you step out? So he really asked you a question. So it's like some of those movies where you got to invite them in. So now you can say no because it's a question. Or you can ask for clarity. Sir, are you asking me or telling me? Because that's what cops are trained to do. They're trained to ask you questions in a demanding form, in a commanding form, to make you give up your rights and come out the car or come out the house. But they can say, no, I asked them. I said, can starting a sentence. Ain't that a question? Question form sentence? Yeah, so I asked you, can you step out? And he stepped out. He could have said no. So this dude chimped out all the way and said, ma'am, isn't Africa a black continent? Yo, you can't make this stuff up, family. This dude is a demon, yo.
The greatest victims, the whites operate inside of your mind. I typed in richest people in South Africa. South Africa is a black continent. Is that correct, madam?
Why does she got to believe that for the conversation? She could say no. No, it's an African continent. It's called Africa. Africa is literally the name of the continent, not a black continent. It's an African continent. Let's see her answer.
Correct,
Again, that's
correct.
a yes or no question. Excellent. South Africa is the country of your forefathers. Is that correct, madam?
Correct.
Excellent. Richest people.
And my man says he's a cult leader. So this cult leader, this fake low budget cult leader, this loser cult leader, failed cult leader, made her concede to Africa is a black continent. Nah, hold on. I gotta see what y'all saying to that. Hold on one second. Let me look at this chat. Let me look at this chat. I'm not gonna just slide with that one. Yeah, he just flat out, he couldn't take it no more. He couldn't force it on them. Yeah, these folks be colonizers, yo. They be colonizers. Colonizers impose their will on you. They enforce their ideas on you. They forge stuff on you. Just be South African. Why let white invaders alter your own identity? Well, at this point, they ain't doing it. He's doing it. He superimposes black. It's obvious, right? This dude is disgusting, man. Straight cult leader, but you know, you give people all the evidence in the world, and you're the demon. Yeah, people just like who they like, and that's why we can't get anything moving. Yeah, all the evidence in the world, superimposing, enforcing it, forging it, whatever word you want to use to describe that, he's doing all of it. And folks want to act like he ain't doing that. Okay, cool. I guess it'd just be a handful of us delineating. The rest of the people then copped out. to a white T-man plea. Let me so I don't make that mistake again. This is crazy, family.
Correct.
Excellent. Richest people in South Africa. Does this person appear to be a black African, this first one? Yes or no?
No, they are not.
This second one, is that a black African?
No.
Now he's back calling them black African, yeah. Yeah, this dude is disgusting, man. This dude is disgusting.
This third one, is that a black African?
Black African.
No, definitely
Okay,
not.
this fourth one, that might be a black African. That's one. This one is.
So now, family, he's definitely indoctrinating them. Like this is a master class of how to be a cult leader. He is 100%. Now he's giving images to what a black African look like. So words alone ain't good enough. He wants to show a visual to what a black African. Yo, this is wild. You know, these one of those exposés that should have got 1,800 live viewers. You feel me? Like, yeah, this dude is literally doing it in front of our face. It's so disgusting, by the way. This is worse than what a Tether could do. Like, this dude is worse than the worst Tether. He's worse than the worst white supremacist. Like, this dude is actually doing it in front of our face, family, in front of your face. He's doing this right in front of your face, this cult-like tactic that he learned from AI, how to be a cult leader.
Is that a black African? No. This one, is that a black African? No. This one, is that a black African? No. This one, is that a black African? No. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You're 1 for 8. These are the people, these are the faces that control wealth in your country.
Yes,
Have you no
79%
shame
of
and
the wealth
dignity that you would ignore the
79%
fact that the overwhelming majority of wealth is controlled by whites and Caucasians in your country? In fact, just a few years ago, the NGOs.
The words I want to say is plain sight. He's doing it in plain sight. This guy's hypnotizing these fools, these gullible tethers in plain sight, making them black. We're trying to delineate, and he's against delineation. This what he's doing is against delineation. This dude is a straight op.
Identify South Africa as the most unequal country on earth. And when they say unequal, guess what? On the very top are the whites, and the dirt, disgusting shantytown bottom are the black Africans. So why in your mind
he never calls them just African, as you can see?
Is it that you want to make sure that you're withholding the wealth of your country from black Africans who are just as poor as you are?
No, I did not say that. That was not my point.
No, do not explain.
Let
her explain.
Now, he wants her to explain because he thinks he's indoctrinated, and he is indoctrinated. He's hypnotized her, so he just wants her to talk.
I just want to touch on a small point. I don't want to explain.
No, do not touch on a small point. Let her explain.
Oh, okay, for me? No, actually, it's shocking. I know firsthand, 79% of the fertile land is owned by not the majority, 80% black. It's owned by the whites. So this is that's not our expectation. I was just trying to stick to the topic. 80% of the nation has access to less than 20% of the resources. So that,
but you speak of this percent, but you don't name the racial categories of the percent. You're saying the blacks.
I'm saying the
right,
black
the blacks.
people in South Africa.
Okay,
no, black people in South Africa they do not have access to the resources that in the same capacity.
Who has the resources?
Those at the top, correct. The white economic factors. Yes.
Now, do you remember my question? My question is, if you're looking at a zero-sum game and you're trying to get wealth into the pockets of the black people, why do you think that you're at a struggle?
Now, they're just black people. They're not African at all, family. They're just black people at this point. This is crazy.
Against the Zimbabweans or the Congolese or people from Eswatini, instead of being in a struggle against the whites who overwhelmingly hold the wealth of your country? That's my question.
No, I do believe the struggle is at the whites who hold at the country. I'm just saying, I'm speaking in general because the topic was xenophobia between Black South Africans and African migrants. But that's I'm not saying it has no correlation. It's true that there are xenophobic South Africans who focus on those who are at the bottom, just as Black South Africans. That
You
is wrong.
yourself said it was an
I do not
economic issue.
Yes, it is an
said there's
economic issue,
scarcity
but
of
I'm not.
resources,
I'm not
and you're
saying.
competing
Look,
in a
I'm not
zero-sum
saying.
game against Black Africans.
No,
So what
I'm
I'm
not.
asking you is,
Look,
why is it
I'm not
that you don't go at the real boogeyman?
This we do highlight the system. That's why I'm saying these are the
Highlight?
missing parts in that discussion.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm
Well,
saying
very
in
good. Let me
general.
ask you this,
I'm
madam.
taking.
Let me ask you
I'm
this,
saying
madam.
this is what's
Because I
missing in
can
the
show you
xenophobic
this
debate.
moment. I can show you this moment 10 videos of you blacks hunting down other black human beings.
Family, they're just black now. They're no longer, he didn't strip the African that's from them. They're just flat out black now. I mean, that's crazy, yo. That's crazy.
And beating them in the streets for no
We disagree
reason
with
other
that.
than they are immigrants. Now, hold on. Can you show me
That is wrong.
10 videos of you guys hunting down whites and beating them in the streets?
Just one.
Could you do that?
What you're saying, this is the conversation we have amongst each other as Black South Africans.
I'm asking you a
We
simple.
Now, you heard her? For the first time, she identified her people as Black South Africans. She ain't called them Black South Africans the whole time. None of them people there from Africa called themselves or their people Black South Africans. After he hypnotized her, poisoned the well, now for the first time, she identified her people as Black South Africans.
question, Matt. Of you guys hunting down whites and beating them in the streets?
Just one.
Could you do that?
What you're saying, this is the conversation we have amongst each other as Black South Africans.
I'm asking you a
We
simple
say
question,
what?
madam. I'm not asking you to give me all this unrelated stuff. I'm telling you I can.
Right, T-Coy. So, and with this dude right here, this agent, this is Marquette Devon Burton. Okay, the Saint and the Sinner. This guy's a complete agent. So what you guys are saying is right. We say we're black. People would say, no, we're not black because we have African descent DNA. They know nothing about us, don't know our genealogical records, don't know our DNA, nothing. But they're imposing, they're projecting themselves on us. We got, the bottom line is that they're just making a claim for us. They're saying the fact that they believe we got African descent, we are African descent, that means we are a whole African. So any of us that do got African descent, you're not black, you're a whole African. But these South Africans are the whole African. They got more than just descent. They're a whole African, and they're not African, they're black. Tell me that's not a destiny swap. We are the people who are not African, maybe have a little bit of African genetics, and because of that, they make us an entire African. But the entire Africans, they're not entire African, they're black. That is a destiny snap. We're not black because some of us might have a tiny bit of African descent, so we're African. These guys got a whole lot of African descent, but they ain't African, they're black. That's a destiny swap led by this cult leader right here. This loser, man.
Find 10 videos right this moment of you blacks hunting down Africans in South Africa who are not from
Now, how that makes it? You blacks hunting down South Africans. Wait.
your country, according to you, and beating them in the street stuff. I'm telling you, I can find 10 videos right this moment of you blacks hunting down Africans in South Africa.
So that at that point, family, he just made black and African interchangeable. Anybody can go there, Google right now, and ask, is black and African interchangeable? It's emphatic no. Now, this guy claims to sell classes on how to massively communicate. Okay? Well, if you can massively communicate, and he brags about being great in the English grammar, then he should know that socially black and African are not interchangeable words. So he's selling classes on how to masterfully communicate, but he's really selling classes on how to masterfully deceive.
Who are not from your country, according to you, and beating them in the streets. Can you show me 10 videos of you guys doing that to whites? Yes or no?
No, not in recent news. But this, we don't condone this.
But here's the thing, it doesn't have to be recent years because the whites have been there for half a century. So in the last half century, can you show me 10 videos of you guys hunting down whites and beating them the way you beat these black Africans? Yes or no?
There are actually videos of whites beating South Africans.
No, let her answer. You guys will get a chance. Let her answer. Yes or no?
No, not in the same capacity that you see, which is wrong.
Now, do you understand? Explain to me the point that I'm making to you so that I know that you're comprehending the point I'm making to you.
Your point is that black South Africans do not have the same...
Hey, family, this guy literally performed black magic, African voodoo magic on this woman. Now he got her committed to black African. Yeah, he is laughing so hard inside, family. Yeah, this dude is a witch, warlord, witch. How y'all want to say it? Voodoo priest. Now he done got the woman so brainwashed, she's now calling her people black South Africans. Now she won't say South African without black. This dude is massively deceptive.
For white South Africans and other, let's say, immigrants who are not our own black brothers, African brothers and sisters, as they do towards black immigrants. And
now everybody just black now. That fast, this woman was calling everybody African in her homeland. Now everybody is black. Nobody's African anymore. This dude is massively deceptive. But that didn't fly past me, my guy. We got you.
I agree with you. This is not something that I will defend as an African.
Well, then why would you put any amount of time into defending the idea that you should keep out other poor blacks? Why would you dedicate any amount of time? 1 in 5 black Africans in your country have HIV/AIDS. You guys have the highest levels of inequality on the planet Earth. Why would you dedicate any amount of time to trying to stop a Shona person from opening a damn shop in South Africa when 1 in 5 of you have HIV/AIDS and you guys have the most inequality on earth? The people who rule your country economically are exclusively Caucasian. Why would you dedicate any amount of time to the most petty of pursuits unless you were wholly controlled in here by a colonial mindset?
Those people are indeed controlled by colonial mindset. What I'm saying is, when you're saying
those people, you're one of them.
Do not categorize. No, we're not one of them. The people who do that in the South African streets, they must be judged. They must be arrested. That is wrong. You cannot, as an average South African who's not an official.
Your government is doing nothing. The Ghanaian government spoke up against your government because they're doing nothing. They condone it. And in fact, 5 of your parties ran on anti-immigration, which is not anti-immigration. In fact, is anti-black. And you are one of the liberal whites.
There's a difference between running. There's a difference between running anti-immigration and anti-illegal immigration. Of course, there is nothing wrong with migration, illegal
but your
migration.
Problem is not immigration nor migration.
I'm saying the issue is illegal. I'm saying amongst.
No, it is not illegal immigration.
The group that you were talking about.
No, ma'am.
That go and attack people, right? This is not majority of black South Africans. This is what I'm trying to present to you. I can feel your passion.
If the majority of black South Africans are not rotten just like you, why have they not stopped this vigilante group? If the majority of black South Africans are not rotten, why have you, as a civilian, why has your government, as an organized body, not stopped this group? What are they called? Dudula? Is that what they're called?
Think about it. If our
Operation Dudula.
If our government cannot even stop a crime that is a blatant, that is in your face, right? That is not difficult to counter. Now you will say they must go after those people on the street. Well, that's what I'm talking about. That's the capabilities in both regards.
So I'm saying the government is incompetent. Is that what you're saying? You're saying your government is incompetent.
Correct. Correct,
so then
correct.
that's probably a bigger deal. That's probably a bigger deal than Shona people coming in and opening up shops. That's probably a bigger deal then.
A much bigger deal.
Then
much
why
bigger
are
deal.
you guys
Not here,
focusing
remember?
on attacking the Black Africans?
Gotta ask Gigi where your bike is at.
This is what we ask our Black South Africans, because this should not be the focus. This is what you are
yourself
very
said you want to
black and
reduce
white in the situation.
But you yourself
No.
said you want to reduce Black African immigration.
That does not mean that I'm pro criminals physically assaulting other brothers just because they do not have the name South African. That does not separate us from what the whites have done and are continuing to do to us. That is wrong. That is something we must correct in-house.
Madam, you yourself said that you are against Black African immigration into South Africa. You said you'd like to reduce
immigration. I'm talking.
Get out of my way.
I didn't say illegal. I asked you a question.
Why? Because we as South Africans are not. No. Let's.
You were asked a question. I never said illegal immigration. I asked you, are you about stopping or reducing the immigration of Black Africans?
Reducing because
so please stop trying to lie. You threw in the word illegal all of a sudden. We were not ever talking about illegal. You said reducing, and we were talking about legal immigration. So do you admit that you just lied now?
Yes, I did say that. Let me clarify. Because you specifically said reduce, I did say reduce. But the reason why I'm coming across the way is I should have maybe elaborated a little bit more. By reducing immigration, because I've seen that the capacity, right, that our government and even our own people cannot take in the influx. That's why I said reduce. If I saw that the system is working, it's competent, we can manage resources, I will be the first. And many South Africans, I prefer my own brothers and sisters rather than these people who are taking over. Germans. By the way, we have a lot of German, Netherlands, people from all over the world.
You guys love the whites. You love the whites.
Unfortunately, no. Please don't think
that. So broke.
No, I
know so. I can see it all over you. You're liberal.
Make no mistake. I know them. No, I know them because I've gone to school with them. So I know the liberal mindset that you speak. It's my own experience. Yeah. No, not my friends. I like to say acquaintances.
Okay, let me ask you one question.
I would much rather accommodate my African brothers and sisters than them.
This is a lie, but let me ask you a question. Are you pro-LGBTQ or anti-LGBTQ? And I'll give you an example of how we can validate if you're anti-LGBTQ. So
yes,
you would support.
These are not African values. These are not African values.
So you would support imprisonment for LGBTQ behavior in public.
There we go. Why? No, I do not support imprisonment like a Ugandan. This is what I'm struggling with.
Because Uganda is in Africa. I'm just curious. Okay.
Yes, just because one does not.
If you're anti, how do you exercise? Like, if you're anti, I just want to understand your values. If you're anti-LGBTQ, how do you like? What would the policy be to show that?
Well, my personal policies cannot interfere with the law of my nation.
No, I'm not asking you about your personal policies, madam. I asked you very clearly if you were writing policy for the government of South Africa, if your stance is anti-LGBTQ, what would the consequences be?
My consequences would go to advertising and media. So I've discovered
advertising and media. Okay. Yes, so that means no policies at all. Got you. Now, why don't you do that for the Black Africans coming in? Just advertise in media about it. Why do you have to create laws to stop them? You're so strong on them. But with the LGBTQ, let's create a commercial about it.
Who is creating laws to stop Black immigrants from entering?
You stated that you would like to reduce it. That would have to be done through policy, madam.
Reduction, just because. Yes, I do. I do get what you're saying.
Very good.
But it would go through. What I'm saying. Reduction, for example, if you went through a proper vetting process, it automatically would reduce the number of because the system is too broad. It's like what the American system was doing. They were not
Madam, you
keeping
don't understand.
control
You don't understand the
over
American
who
system.
exactly is
because you don't
entering the country.
listen,
They do not do
you
that
live
country.
in South Africa and you don't even understand South Africa. You have not the foggiest opportunity. You have no chance of understanding America. You don't even understand the place that you live in. Marquette, what do you mean she doesn't understand the place that she lives in? I'll give you an example. So you guys complain about immigration. The Europeans complain about immigration. It's in both cases, it's because of racism. It's because of racism against people of color, people with melanin. Now, here's the comedy. Do you know what country gets the most refugees? Is it in Europe since they complain so much? Is it in America since they complain so much? Is it in South Africa since they complain so much? Since you know about immigration and immigration policy, do you know who gets the most refugees?
No, in the
Come
world,
on.
no.
You know about immigration? Come on.
No, I don't know which country in the world gets the most. I would like to know.
Okay, well, I'd be happy to share with you. Iran gets a
I can make a guess, but I do not know.
Yeah, Iran gets a huge number of
Iran.
immigrants, refugees, and they seem to have no problem with it. I think maybe it's because they're not a racist, hateful country. They're a country that respects the humanity of the people around them. But let me educate you on something very meaningful. And pay attention to this, my liberal friend. If your country, which fundamentally hates black people, if your country actually did a good job at the basics like education, and let's just throw in electricity since you guys are South Africans and you have load shedding, right? I forgot to throw that in there. You guys should probably be protesting load shedding. But let's just talk about basic education. If you guys got a quality education and you had high level skills, that means that you would be able to operate in a service-based economy or in the economy of the future. You'd be in high tech, you'd be in consulting. Yes. What that means, my friend, when poor black Africans come from places that you consider inferior because you guys think you're white also, the poor Shona come from Zimbabwe, the poor Nigerians come in, the poor people from Ghana, the poor people from Eswatini, the poor people from Mozambique, the poor blacks come in. They would not be competing with you guys. And let me see if you can fill in the blank. Why would the low income blacks coming from these other countries who are economic migrants, why would they not be competing with black South Africans? Explain. It only takes 10 seconds. For the lady, go ahead.
I'm saying the problem is that we are
I asked you a question, madam. Why would the poor blacks not be competing with South Africans if you guys had a proper public education system? Please tell me. Do you not understand? It's okay if you don't comprehend. Just say, Marquette, I don't know the answer, and then I'll fill in the blank for you. But maybe you do. Do you know the answer? Yes or no? If you don't know it, just say so.
I'm trying to think before I speak because
it's okay. You're thinking too slowly. It's fine. I'll give you the answer. Here's the answer, madam. If your country, South Africa, which is one of the wealthiest sub-Saharan African countries, you guys should have great compulsory public education. If they did a good job for you black Africans, you guys would be higher skilled than the people coming from Congo, the people coming from Zimbabwe, the people coming from Mozambique. So when they come in, they would occupy your low-level jobs and you would not be competing with them economically. That's number one. So the fact that you think you're competing with these economic migrants only reveals flaws in your existing system, which lets you know that the fat cats at the top, i.e. the white people and the Asians, little buddy, they're the ones that are milking your country and the resources. And some of them go by names like the Oppenheimers. Yes, some of them own entire mines. And it's so funny that the richest people from South Africa are the Elon Musk or the Oppenheimers, the whites. And you guys are so brain dead that you would like to attack your black brothers who are in the exact same situation that you guys are in. That's true stupidity. I yield the floor to you.
Yes, what you've described is divide and conquer, which is what is that operation?
It's like you say that you understand it, but you're still abiding by the colonial script, dear. So why even act like you understand it?
Well, no. We're not speaking in-house, right? I don't know who my audience is, but amongst Black South Africans, I'm saying this is the behavior, the violent behavior is condemned. It is not, this is not, what I'm saying is,
Madam,
you receive information from the
be real. What the hell is a condemnation? A condemnation does not stop a man from Ghana from being beaten in the streets. Your words of
Unfortunately, that is the
condemnation
case.
does not stop the Black Africans who are being attacked. I don't want to care. I don't want to hear about your conversations you claim that are going on. You guys have not organized. Your government is not protecting the Black people, and you guys haven't even done anything to get at the whites. You only organize.
Hold on, there was no, there
You're an
is. There was a
apologist.
protest
You're
just
just here
yesterday.
as an apologist. You have nothing
No, they
relevant that you
are.
guys
They
have
are
done.
South Africans
You're
in the
here to
streets.
cover up.
Family, it is a debate or a lecture. Like, dude, that ain't debating. You're yelling at them. You're making them do stuff. That ain't debating. It's your argument versus hers. You're chastising her. You're a cult leader, my guy. This is disgusting. This is how all debates go. These don't be debates. What is this?
They are
Your
South
crime.
Africans.
You're here
No,
to
they are
cover
South
over your
Africans in
crime.
the. No, there are South Africans in the streets with placards. I think as early as yesterday, they are protesting in the streets and coming to the defense of those foreigners who cannot defend themselves. They're holding placards.
What
No
is the
one is
organization
illegal.
called, madam? What is the organization called? I'll wait.
I never.
Do not look it up. Do not look it up. I'm asking you right now. You care and you know
was not-
you're in
it was-
South Africa called.
Look, I'm just saying this is what has happened in the latest
But
protest.
I'm
I think it
asking
was
you, madam,
yesterday.
since South Africans care so much about their Black Africans and they're trying to stop their countrymen, their fellow citizens from attacking Black Africans, what is the organization called that's trying to stop this since the South African government's not doing anything?
No, there wasn't an umbrella organization.
Aha, I see. But the doula is years old. It's
Is
several
the-
years old. So in those several years, you've not created anything to counter their hateful behavior. You guys don't care. You're liars and you're an apologist. What you should be doing is trying to figure out, instead of making excuses for your filthy behavior of your countrymen, you should be organizing to stop that evil. I hope that every country in Africa sanctions you and condemns you. I hope that every South African around the world should be treated like those Africans there in your filthy country. I hope they're all tracked down and treated like the dirt that you guys fundamentally are. You
Yeah, this dude is ridiculous, acting like fake outrage. Yeah, dude might be a tether, yeah. Marquette might be a tether.
guys behave just like the Afrikaners. You guys were waiting to treat someone else the way you've been treated. There is no excuse for your conduct. And all you guys do is try to be an apologist and defend your filthy acts. None of you tell the truth about what's going on. It's apparent. It's covered in the media. You guys lie. You lie. You lie.
Can I say something
I
quickly?
yield the floor. What do you have to say?
I think with what's going on in South Africa, I agree with Marquette with the fact that yes, South Africans do not put as much effort into making into going into our defense as much as they go into being offensively against us. That is very true. They do not put in that effort. But my issue with I've been in South Africa my whole life. This is basically my second home. I've made beautiful people here. I've made beautiful family here. So I can vouch when I say it has wonderful people. The issue is now comes with this foreign issue. It arises every 3-4 years, and you ask yourself why. It's about a political shift, and your leaders are always looking for someone to blame whenever they are not able to make the changes that they're supposed to make in the country. Right now, you have 4 ministers in South Africa right now that are going under investigation for fraud. I think it's the Minister of Health, and there's about 2 more ministers. The Minister of Police that was recently suspended by Ramaphosa. So all of that is going on, but then why are they continuously publicizing this doula thing up front? It's an agenda, and it's an agenda that a lot of South Africans are unaware of because of the fact that they are too focused on what's happening on the ground. I'll give an example, right? I live in South Beach, Durban. Predominantly where I live in, it's a lot of foreigners. But even where I live, majority of the residents are South Africans, and these South Africans depend on most of the foreign-owned shops to make a living. You see them coming from the tough ships, KwaDebeka, KwaDuduza, KwaMashu, Umlazi, especially when you go towards Victoria Street, which is where I live. When you close these shops, you don't just prevent foreign migrants from making a living, but you prevent also your brothers and sisters from making a living because they depend on those very shops. And my argument was, because I was speaking with a friend of mine the other day, they were saying, oh no, we're targeting all foreigners. There's 2 Chinese stores right here around where I live. Why weren't those attacked? Why weren't those attacked? And it's simple. Blacks are easier victims and targets for this Dudula operation than any other races,
Correct.
than any other races. And the sooner that the government admits to that, not even the government, I think the people, South Africans themselves, should admit to that, because a lot of you all have relationships with us as foreign migrants. A lot of your parents and uncles and aunties, they come to us, foreign parents, and usually tell us, hey, yo, please befriend our child, because we don't want our child to end up in the street, because there's this stereotype that foreign parents are much more strict with their children in terms of education. We are not so liberal with our kids. Let them do whatever they want to do. We are very strict. Like, because when I came here, my mom was very strict with education. I finished matric. I finished primary. I finished matric, and I'm also working towards my tertiary education right now. That is not to say that South Africans aren't in that system, but you all are given much more opportunities than we are. I can't even get a NSFAS, which is National Student Fund. Basically, it's like not a scholarship per se, but a loan from the government. We foreigners cannot get that. We cannot get SASSA money. We cannot get employment easily. With the documents I have an asylum seeker. I fled war from Goma to come to South Africa. There are many things I do not even have access to, even to open a simple bank account. It takes me 3 days to get a notification from the bank for them to say, you can finally come and open the bank account, because they have to confirm if my documents are valid and whatnot. And I think that's why a lot of foreigners have an issue with South Africans. It's like, okay, we understand your struggle with apartheid. We understand everything. We do, because we've been there. That's why we ran from where we came. But the issue now is we are here to try and make a living in the lower sectors. There's no foreign guy that I know that probably that does better than a white South African. You will never meet one. They don't exist. You will never find one that does better than an Indian South African, which don't exist. And again, brings another point. The Indians as well in South Africa, they're not Africans by any means necessary. Even if they're born and bred here, they're not Africans. They have to cross an entire ocean to go back to their motherland, which is India. So how is it these non-Africans individuals are able to get access to basic human necessities? My mom can't even go to the hospital anymore because of this shit. Eddington Hospital right here. She can't even go anymore. So the question is, how can you make it easy for every non-African to get the necessities that every human needs, but not us? And as I'm saying, I'm not condemning South Africans. I love these people. I've grown up with them my whole life. My best friends are South Africans. But it's sad to see that you're putting much more effort into being against us than there is ever effort into putting us into a good light. And that is where the issue is. It's not the fact that you do not perhaps vouch for us, but where is that effort being put into? Because the Dudula operation has been running for years. There's never been any organization made by any South African to go up against that. No, not once. And I've been here from the time Zuma was in power, from the time Malema was in power, there's been no organization. But you will see that there are sanctions to protect the Rupert, sanctions to protect the Oppenheimers, sanctions to protect the Moswepe families. And these are all people that are extorting the country, bar none. So it's like, okay, put the energy you're putting onto me, go put that against them as well. There was a video recently where these EFF protesters went to fight against white people in a certain neighborhood, and they got fucked up by the whites. And it's like, we aren't even allowed to defend ourselves, because where I live, it's a lot of foreigners are here. Even though we are perceived as the majority of this area, you will never see us defend ourselves against these people. Why? Because in our minds there's already an understanding. This is not my land. I have to abide by the laws of the lands that I'm in. And then you hear South Africans saying, oh no, there's Nigerian drug dealers, Ghanaian drug dealers, and all of that. But then, okay, the same people that are drug dealing are being allowed to do these deals by the South African police. They allow them to do that. A lot of drug dealers that are in our area are being protected and being not taken care of because the South African police allows them to do those things. You can say that we're corrupting the country, but how can we be corrupting the country if the very people that are supposed to be against us are helping us fund these illegal businesses. You understand what I'm
Exactly.
saying? So that's where the issue. So that's where the issue is. Put in that effort you put against all my. It shouldn't just be blacks, in my opinion. If this is an issue where immigration is an issue, from the Indian all the way to the white European, they should be getting the same retaliation we're getting because they're doing much.
Okay, let
more
me
than
stop
we
you
are
there
doing.
because you're being repetitive. I'm gonna give her a chance to respond to you.
No problem.
First of all, I do want to acknowledge the points my brother is making, and he's not alone. Even the friends that I know who are not South African but are from other African countries carry the same points. For me, this is what is missing. Listening, right, to the brother, everything he's saying. This is where whites once again have captured us mentally. Divide and conquer. So the mainstream media is putting my opinion and your opinion against each other, but actually we have a commonality. We both just want to make it. But what happens to the guy on the ground? Like I said, they all at the bottom. Black South Africans at the bottom. Then the African migrants come in. They at the bottom. The bottom fights the bottom. That is the biggest issue.
Yes, madam, but you're a part of the problem. You yourself said that you would like to reduce immigration of Black Africans. I can tell you the true group of peoples who would have a legitimate reason to reduce the population of Black Africans in South Africa. It could only be the whites and the Asians because it would further minoritize them, and no one wants to be a minority. So why is it? Hold on one second. Hold on one moment. Since you're talking a good game, my brother, my Black African brother, that's bullcrap. You don't believe that. You said that you would reduce Black African immigration. So are you going to change that stance or?
Okay, because Black immigration was specifically the point that you made, does not mean I don't believe the same for Asians and whites. In fact, our frustration, like I said, is those with actual power who are, for example, I'll tell you now, there's a lot of Chinatowns like that have popped up. Okay, fine.
Yes, I know. I've been there. I've been to South Africa more times than I can count. I've hired employees.
And they are also unaccountable to anybody.
I've never met a Black South African who's put more money into South Africa than I have personally, mind you. And in fact, I can tell you this. I was trying to buy a place in Camps Bay, and it's quite a bit of challenge. And this is very weird. You know, if an American shows up and says, hey, I'd like to buy a place in Cape Town, and I have millions of dollars in cash, we don't need to finance it. I'm here for 10 days and we can get the deal done within 10 days and I'll get you the money. Oh, that should be the easiest deal to do on earth. Tried to do it with Black real estate agents. Didn't work. I don't know if it was they're lazy or they couldn't, I don't know what was going on. Then also I tried to hire in South Africa. I went through in excess of 200 applications. I settled down with 4 employees. 2 of them were coloreds and 3 of them were coloreds and 1 was a Black African. And I had to get her way out from yonder to work in Cape Town. I can tell you that the South Africans are extraordinarily lazy across the board, all of them. The only ones I didn't find to be lazy were the older Black South Africans, like the old ones, like the ones who were cleaning my beachfront apartment in Durban. I always see the Blacks cleaning. Usually when I'm in your country, I'm among the whites because I'm well off. And you Blacks are broke in your own damn country. And when I go to your country, I experience racism, which is a shame to experience anti-Black racism in the Black land. So I say all that to say this. Madam, can you stop bullshitting us? The topic that I asked you about is why you are against any level of Black immigration into your country. And will you abandon that foolish position?
No, there's a difference between being against and being pro-moderation. Reduction does not mean
what does it
against.
Matter? That's not your issue. You guys have 20% of you have HIV/AIDS. How many people are in your, listen, let me ask you a question. In the building that you're in your home, how many people are in your home right now?
No, we're family of 5.
Your family of 5.
Family of 5.
Excellent. According to your government's health data, which I trust your government's health data, you're a family of 5. One of you has HIV/AIDS. Now, you can claim that that's not true in your case, and I hope it's not true. I hope it's not true. But let's say it is true,
That's
because in most
correct.
cases,
Statistically,
in most cases, it is true for Black Africans in South Africa. So let's say in your
yes.
household, someone in your household has HIV/AIDS right now, a deadly disease, which is strange because you guys have a higher HIV/AIDS rate than a lot of countries that are a lot poorer than your country. So you know something's weird. So why is it that a deadly disease that does not need to be so prevalent, and it happens to be way more prevalent among the Black South Africans, not the whites, how come that doesn't bother you so much? You literally have one person in your home right now dying of HIV/AIDS. How come that's not more pressing to you?
Well, these are the questions people should. That's why I say divide and conquer.
I'm asking you. We're not asking people. I'm asking you right now in the present moment. Why is that not more pressing to you?
You are assuming that we are not pressed by those issues. We are pressed by those issues.
Actually, I'm not assuming.
That is actually why
I'll tell you why I know that you're not pressed. Because I've been to more of South Africa than you have. Because most of you are parochial and provincial. I've traveled more around your country than you have. I've done more commerce in your country than you have. I've put more money into your country than you have. I've hired more South Africans in your country than you have. I have also observed that the money in your country is not going toward stopping HIV/AIDS. Because when I was there, I saw more advertisements that are pro-LGBTQ, which, mind you, is something that spreads HIV/AIDS. And the data is there.
These are correct. These are the issues.
Homosexual males are the biggest victims of this, especially when they're down low and then they have intercourse with females. That's why your females have such a high prevalence of HIV/AIDS, because females are more likely to receive it. The transmissibility is higher male to female. Of course, male to male the highest, and then male to female the second.
Now you see why we don't have organizations that are dedicated to protecting African immigrants in general. I'm not saying that. I'm saying
no, madam. Don't try to run. But what I'm pointing out to you is this. You focus on things that are so irrelevant, but literally that which is killing you. And you have 5 people in your house. The data indicates one of them is dying of HIV/AIDS as we have this conversation. You guys also promote LGBTQ more than any other country on the entire continent of Africa. Of all 54, you guys are.
These are the agendas.
And don't interrupt me. Don't interrupt. HIV/AIDS and LGBTQ are major issues that you guys are ignoring. And I know, because I've been there on the ground, and I've been in the halls of power, and I've been there among the wealthiest people in your country, and nobody cares. So
that's true. Why you will not hear me go against that?
On little black Shona, little black Zimbabweans. You wanna fight them for crumbs while you're dying of AIDS? That's what you want to do?
Look, no, that. I think you are. I understand. All your points are very sound, actually. But I'm saying you're making the same mistake that you're accusing Black South Africans of one blanket statement. You're saying all Black South Africans have the singular viewpoint. It's just not correct.
I am saying that Black South Africans are guilty. You guys are guilty of being the most colonized Black people on the entire planet Earth. In your colonial mindset, you keep yourself oppressed. The whites don't even have to do it proactively. And because you guys are so oppressed psychologically, you become the overseer seeking to oppress the other Blacks that come into your territory, thinking that you are somehow above them only because you have been more associated, more proximate to whites. I go to many African countries, and the funny thing is when I get around the Black South Africans, who, mind you, are broke. All of you are broke. I've never met a wealthy Black South African, ever. But you guys feel so like, yes, well, I'm South African and I speak with a British accent, and the other Blacks are so bad off in the other countries. Well, you guys are really resting on the idea that South Africa is a wealthy country, but y'all don't have the wealth. The whites have the wealth. So it's like you have this arrogance for no reason. It's very strange. That's how you guys are.
Arrogance should never. Yes, many people are like that, but that is not
I know,
the sentiment.
and I have a comparative basis. I have a base of comparison because most of you guys have not been to Namibia, even though it's very close. You've not been to Zimbabwe. You've not been to Uganda. You've not been to Mozambique. You've not been to Rwanda. You've not been to Congo. Some of the immigrants may have come from these places, but you guys have never been. So you just sit there based on your social media and your television, and you guys arrogantly think that you're better than these blacks, and then you try not to identify with them, even though you look like them. Yeah, I'll tell you what.
There are people
Just like
who certainly have that whole mindset, but
let me tell you a funny thing. You said that you're Ngosa or whatever. That's what you are? That's what you are, madam? Yeah. You know that too. You know the funny thing that makes you black South Africans look so brainless? If I lied, I bet I could find a woman in Zimbabwe who looks just like you. I bet I could.
Yes, we are all, especially Sub-Saharan Africans, we are all Bantu. We come from the same mother and father.
Yes, that's what you say, but that's not what you live. So you attack someone who looks just like you, but you let the whites and the Chinese and the Indians, you let them slide. You guys should be so ashamed. You shouldn't even be able to look in a mirror. You should be so ashamed. You should be so ashamed to consider ending it all. That's how ashamed you guys should be. I don't want to hear you call them your brothers. Who treats their brother like that? You treat them like you're crazy. You guys treat black Africans. You guys treat black Africans like they committed apartheid against you. That's how you treat them. You guys treat them like they committed apartheid against you.
That is, certain people do treat that, but I'm saying this is not the mindset of most South Africans.
Yes, it is. And you're lying. The reason that I know for a fact that you are lying is because if South Africans were against it, it would have stopped. Do not sit here and lie to me, Matt. You are deluded. If the majority of South Africans were against it, it would stop. They're sitting there and they're doing nothing about it. That's why it's continued for years on end. You are a liar. And I will not suffer you lying here to the public. There's no way in hell a majority that does not condone it would not have stopped it. You do not sit idly and let something go on if you're against it. You guys, at best, the black masses in South Africa, at best, you're indifferent. At best, you sit back and say, it has nothing to do with me. But to say that you guys are against what is happening to your fellow blacks, that is a bald-faced lie, because you would do something, and you've done absolutely nothing. You guys don't care about those black South Africans because you don't even care about your damn selves. You don't care about yourself. How could you care about them? The only people you care about is making sure that the whites and the Asians that are above you, that you could hold them up as the impoverished foundation of this country. That's all you guys are concerned about. Let us hold them up. We can't have the other blacks come in here and be slave labor. We want to be the slave labor. That's what you guys care about.
Unfortunately, this is how South Africans in government and higher parts in government, this is the exact problem, what you're describing. This is how they think. They don't even like their own black South African people. So imagine if you are a black South African, you got a high position in government, you do not prioritize your own people. Are you going to prioritize those who are not even South African blacks? That is, I'm saying that's the issue. The issue is the people at the top. You're not talking. You're referencing all of black South Africans.
You're not realistic. You're talking about the people at the top. You yourself are against black immigration. You said you'd like to reduce it. You're the problem. See, that's my whole point. Is you delusional liars. Like everyone else is the problem. No, I'm talking to the problem. That's why I'm passionate, because I'm encountering the devil in front of me. You are the problem. You
are black and white. You do not
you typify their mentality. You typify their mentality. Lie. Live in delusion, support the whites, want to reduce black immigration. You're typical.
Support the whites. No, South Africans are not pro-white. Those with power are pro-white. South African, the average black South African who is well profound in the history.
Madam, your whole
yes.
Pro-white.
Our government, unfortunately, is captured. This is the problem that all of us black South Africans, this is our number one issue.
Well, then why are you trying to reduce the?
Is that the people do not have love for themselves? They do not care for. I can never care for a guest or visitor if I cannot care for my own brothers and sisters. This is a government issue. I understand. Maybe I'm the only South African in the chat. That's why maybe all the energy is directed toward. I feel your passion. Your points are clear. However,
you could never. You don't have a heart, madam. You're not like me. You don't have the soul of a black person, madam. I can tell. You do not have any sense of what I feel. I feel murderous rage toward your people treating my black people coming into Africa, coming into an African nation, as though they are somehow less than human. You guys, you South Africans have gone into hospitals and you have kicked out sick black people seeking treatment. You guys are devils. That's how I feel about it. You guys are devils.
That is devil behavior. That is true.
Yes,
that is true. But that is not all South Africans. But that is not all South Africans.
Yes, it is. I'll tell you why it is. It's all South Africans for the mere fact that we have never seen an organized effort to stop it.
Yes.
So I'll give you an example, madam. Don't interrupt me, young man. Silence.
All right.
Madam, if I'm standing next to a grown man taking advantage of a girl who is a minor, and I stand there and do nothing, can I rightly claim that I don't condone it? I mean, I didn't actively abuse the girl with him. I didn't actively lay my hands on her. But if I stood there, could I call myself a good person, a good man, while I watched the crime? You guys are all spectators of the crime. You're not good people. You guys are devils. And I will not call you anything other than a devil until you guys do something. And I pray that you guys are hunted. Wherever you are found outside of South Africa, I pray that you are all hunted until you guys raise up your voices against this, until I hear a Trevor Noah speaking against this, until I hear Elon Musk speaking against this, whoever else, SZA or whatever the hell that harlot is, whatever South African is outside of South Africa, until they are pressured to speak up against this, they should be hunted. Now, my friend from Congo.
I've got to say, I wish that all sectors were like that. I wish that we would handle issues.
No, you don't
if
need
we
to
handle
do it.
issues.
You could stop being an anti-black racist. You could stop being an anti-black racist. You could stop being against black immigration. You're in Africa. That is the land of the blacks. When you stop being an anti-black racist, then I will respect
immigration. I wish the whole African diaspora can live in Africa.
You're a liar, You're a liar. You yourself said you are wanting to reduce black immigration. Stop lying. We heard you. Why are you lying?
Oh my goodness.
What do you mean, oh my goodness? You said that you wanted to reduce black immigration.
I answered your question as you asked me. Just because, but that does not mean that that does not mean I'm exclusively against black immigration. That is not the case.
Madam, I asked you about black immigration, madam.
Yes, you said, do you believe that it needs to be reduced?
Why are you lying now?
Yes. No, I'm not lying, but the way you are, the manner of venom that you're angling the question, as if I will only care about reducing black immigrants into South Africa, whereas that's not the question you asked me.
I see. The gentleman from Congo, I apologize. What is your name?
Ramadan.
Ramadan. Okay, Ramadan. May I yield the floor to you?
No, what I just wanted to say was what the black guy is saying in terms of like stop allowing illegal immigration. But I don't think that's just blacks that are immigrating illegally. You know what I mean? So
exactly. So many Chinese.
It's a really blanket statement to say, but yeah,
it's crazy.
But to Marquette's point, I think his anger stems from the fact that, you know, when that man went inside the hospital and started taking out people, no South African stood up to stop him and be like, you know what, these are people seeking assistance just as us. Why are you stopping them from going to the hospital? It's not a thing of whereby the change has to be done from the top in order for us to see change in South African people. It's a thing of whereby the people at the bottom who are able to make the change necessary to stop the incidences are not doing anything as well. Instead of looking at the top, whereby of course, we know there's already problems at the top. Why aren't we those at the bottom uniting together as Africans in order to fix those issues? You see, I told my friend one time, if Black South Africans were really about Africans, they should have formed an alliance with Black Africans who are coming from these other countries to seek a better life here. Because that way, you do not just have alliances with people in your country, but you have alliances with people outside of your country. You're building a diaspora within the country of South Africa in itself. And that's why a lot of South Africans fail, because of the tribalistic mentality that a lot of South Africans have, which is not a bad thing. I respect the Zulu, Xhosa, Sutus. Like it's a beautiful culture. I love it. But then you'll see yourselves as Zulu before you'll see yourself as Black. That is the issue. I am Xhosa
True.
before I am Black. I am Zulu before I am Black. And when you start thinking like that, it prevents you from seeing what's really going on around the world around you. It prevents you from seeing what's going on around you as an individual, especially as us Black people. We are not already liked and fond of in many places. Why would we make a place where we should feel like home even more difficult it is for us to live in? You know? So I understand his point and I understand his anger. So it's a thing of whereby until one South African, because you don't even have to go far. There's Vusi Tembakwayo, there's Trevor Noah, there's Charlize Theron, there's Siya Kolisi, there's a lot of these South African celebrities who can come out and be like, we should be against this. Even musicians, Casper Nyovest, who has made music with other African artists who are not from South Africa, why aren't they saying anything? And as I said before, it's an agenda. The government is looking to pin the shift and focus on the people onto someone else. But because of how as well misled South Africans can be with their own politics, it is easy to manipulate them into thinking something that is not true.
Now that I agree with, yes, it's very easy to manipulate people who are hungry, who are in poverty. Divide and conquer, like I said, it lives today.
You Black South Africans are in mental poverty above all. And, you know, I recall coming there on my first trip to Joburg. I stayed in Maboning. And I went to one particular tour in Soweto. And the tour guide took me to one place and he told me about the Constitution. And he told me about some of the things that sounded beautiful about your people and about your nation. And he said that, you know, in South Africa, we give free education. He said in South Africa, we have free health care. He said in South Africa, and I said, is that for anyone, like including me, if I had an issue while I'm here? He's like, yes, brother, you could go to the hospital and no bill. I said, oh, interesting. And it sounded so nice as an American. And he said that, you know, all these things that sounded so nice, and those were lies. Like, you guys have not delivered on that. Like, those were fundamentally lies. And I don't know if he was lying to me or if he was lying to himself. Like, I understand that you guys have a constitution that's supposed to provide for some things. And admittedly, I don't know your constitution very well. Does your constitution claim that anyone can get free education and free healthcare in South Africa? Is that the letter of the law?
No, it specifically refers to South African citizens.
So it always said South African citizens can get free education and free healthcare in South Africa, the citizens.
Yes.
Okay, well, I appreciate you clarifying that. So what happens if people who are not citizens try to get healthcare in a hospital?
Well, I'm particularly close to an immigrant community, particularly Angolans. Most people that I know, it is available anyway. But now you see in the news, this has been going on for a long time. You're seeing people kick people out of hospitals, all these things. It's been happening, but now the people are like, wait, our South African Constitution says that this is for South Africans. And like I said, the system is overrun, is basically what I'm saying. There's no space. People have been giving birth. If you walk into just a random ward, let's say at Baragwan, it's one of the biggest hospitals in Johannesburg, you will see how dismal the situation is. You have mothers literally giving birth on the floor, in bathrooms.
Maybe we need to get some of that money back
you get
from
two
Elon
type of people.
Musk's
You get
family. Maybe we need to get some of that money back from the Oppenheimers. Are the De Beers from South Africa, or am I making that? The De Beers, are they from South Africa? Is that South Africa? I forget because they sound like white. Where are they from?
These people.
Those
No, these
are
people are
the
European.
Dutch. Those are Dutch.
The
The
Dutch.
Europeans. The Dubois
They're
are
not in
Dutch.
South
Yeah,
Africa.
yeah, this should be
They're
our
in South
actual
Africa. They're
conversation
in South Africa.
in the
They live in
xenophobic.
South
This is what's
Africa.
But
missing from the
you know why?
xenophobic conversation.
You know why it's so easy for me to get confused on whether it's the De Beers or the Oppenheimers? Because, like, are those African surnames?
No, not at all. Not at all.
Not at all. But they're all over Africa, and they come from Europe. So it's just like,
And
it's
they're
hard
eating off our land. They're eating off our land and our people. It's really sad.
forget who your owners are. I just know that they're white. That's one thing I can always rely on, is that they're white. But let's check this out real quick. And of course, ChatGPT can be inaccurate. I was just curious as to if that tour guide was lying to me, because it all sounded so very good from my South African tour guide on my first trip many years ago to South Africa. My query is this: does the South African Constitution allow for non-citizens to get health care? That was my query. And ChatGPT stated yes, and then it elaborates. And this is the proper way to answer a question, is to first say yes or no. I know a lot of people have trouble with that. It's a function of being honest and straightforward. So I thank this software. Yes, South Africa's constitution does allow non-citizens to access healthcare, but the scope depends on the situation. The key provision is Section 27 of the Constitution. I did ask you about the Constitution, which states that everyone, and everyone is the primary word that's used. And I do believe English is the primary language in South Africa. It's my primary language. Everyone, and I knew what that word means, everyone has the right to access healthcare services. The word everyone is deliberate. It is not limited to citizens. Seems as though, and I asked you earlier if you felt like your public school education in South Africa was any good. You said yes. Maybe that's not true. And if it is not true,
I apologize. Yeah, I apologize. I stand corrected.
Yeah, you don't have to apologize.
Let me put it this way.
Do you have to interrupt me right now? Do you have to interrupt me?
Sorry.
Like, must you interrupt me? Like, we're right now, we're observing that you were just wrong. So when you're wrong, that would suggest that you are in lack of knowledge. And when you're in lack of knowledge, you should probably not cut off someone who is in possession of knowledge. Because if I were you right now, I would be silent, primarily because I'm embarrassed that an American is telling me about my constitution. I'd be embarrassed. Like, how's this nigga know more about my constitution than me? Because it's actually not supposed to work like that, you see. It's not supposed to work like that. I'm not supposed to know more about your constitution. Also, I'm not supposed to have been to more of South Africa than you. But of course I have, because you were destined to be poor as a Black South African, and your infrastructure and your train system is not affordable to you to get around and see your beautiful country. So I have to come over as a rich American and see it for you and gather up all the information and then tell you, little South African, about your country, because you apparently don't know. So I, the American, are teaching you, the South African, about your constitution. I'm teaching you about your system of power, because you don't know. That's why you shouldn't interrupt, because you just fundamentally don't know. The Constitution is one of the most fundamental things in every society. You don't know. And it's actually quite critical to this discussion. And just earlier, you gave an anecdote about your family member and education and healthcare. So it's important that you learn about the Constitution. I'm just reading what is written here. You should learn about your Constitution. I'm just going to read this to you, because you lied to everyone. You lied to 1,000 people watching this live. Now, emergency care, very broad access. Section 27(3) says no one may be refused emergency medical treatment. This applies to citizens.
That's correct.
I know it's correct. I'm reading it here, madam. Like, let's go. Why are you interrupting? It's so strange. Undocumented migrants. Yes. Okay. Very good. So now we at least have a basic understanding of your constitution. And there's some other parts we could go through, maybe the education part, but it's all good. We'll just leave that to another time. Now I yield the floor to you.
I apologize. I do stand corrected. I didn't know that particularly about the medical healthcare. That's true. Both I specifically didn't know about also illegal undocumented immigrants, but it makes sense when you look at the Hippocratic Oath. But the reason why I know a little bit is, like I said, I have close ties to an immigrant community, and I know a few people who have received free healthcare from the system. But when they were doing that, and they were illegal immigrants, even though they are my friends or my community, I thought they were bending the law, or I did not know that they were within their rights when they were doing that.
Well, that's why they call me the saint. I do God's work. You're welcome. Now you can look upon them with more regard. And I've blessed you with knowledge of your own political and governmental structure. You're welcome. This is what I'm here to do. We also have a section called SAS in Africa. This is across various African nation states. The headquarters is in Nigeria. We have a significant population in South Africa. Our number one charge is to teach identity. You know, unlike the Congolese gentleman, Ramadan, I do not believe that you have to be Black before you're Zulu or Xhosa or whatever tribe you identify with. That's fine. That's your ethnicity. Black is your racial category, but certainly you should be Black before you're South African, because South African is what the whites told you are when they were taking advantage of your grandmother and abusing your grandfather and enslaving their children. South African is a false construct. You see, so certainly you should be Black before you're South African. And so we teach identity so that you all would know yourselves, because most of you don't know yourselves. Like you said that you are Xhosa. Yes?
Yes, but Xhosa did not exist like 700 years ago. I'm just saying that because that is how I'm identified today.
Okay.
We're
so
actually all Bantu, specifically Southern Africans.
Yes. So both of your parents are Xhosa?
Right?
Both of your parents are Xhosa?
Yes.
Okay, fantastic.
Yes.
What do you guys generally look like?
Fair skin.
Like physical features.
Physical features, generally round, a little bit lighter in complexion than most South Africans. At least that's the
when you
comments
say
that we
round, you're talking
received.
about the face or the body? Like what do you mean
Both,
by round?
actually.
Like shaped, like well shaped, or like?
Yeah, shape-wise, our women are a little bit thicker, both in the body, upper and lower body. A little bit lighter because of ties between the Khoisan and earlier settlers. So those are but the fact is, we're all Bantu people: South African, Zulu, Nguni, and then even worse, I think the brother is from Congolese. Actually, our roots is from Congolese. Kikongo, are you Bakongo?
No,
if you look at our languages.
I'm Uswahili and I'm Bandundu.
Okay.
Tribes.
If you look, there's a connection in our languages that trace a common lineage, common ancestry, which a lot of people are ignorant of, particularly South Africans, because like you asked earlier if our education was good. No, not in terms of African history. Most South Africans do not know that we're actually Bakongo from the Kingdom of Congo with a K, not a C. Before Africa was sliced like a cake. You remember the...
Wait, who sliced it? Did you guys slice the cake, or who sliced the cake?
No, the colonizers.
No, the whites.
It was called the Berlin Conference. The Berlin Conference was also called the Congo Conference. Hence, you were correct about South Africa being a construction. So this is what we do behind the scenes. The education that you're talking about. People would not treat each other. It's ignorance, right?
Yeah. Right.
If they really knew their roots, they would not treat each other.
Yes, I agree with you
twice.
wholeheartedly. So that's why we have SAS in Africa, and that's what we teach. That's why I said identity. I said first and foremost, we teach identity. You see, because if you knew what it actually means to be Black, not only on a historical level of your ethnicity and your tribe, but also on a genetic and biological level, you understand the linkages that you have, then maybe someone like you would not have the silliness to say that you'd like to reduce Black African populations in South Africa, because you mentioned Bantu. I trust you've probably heard of the Bantu migrations. And that land that you're
Music
on,
that
that
my
is,
own ancestors were a part of.
yes, yes, that is all of our
Though I'm
land.
South African on my ID, South African on my ID in terms of modern terms, I believe Africa is for Africans.
No, you don't
But
believe, you say, because if you believed, then you
yes,
would not have
but
mentioned that you want to reduce Black African immigration into South Africa. You are deluded, madam.
but you don't know
That
the
is
why.
why men must lead. Because you're
Okay,
deluded.
let me give you an example. You get two types of people. You get people who want to reduce immigration purely on their own xenophobia, right? They're thinking that they are better than others. And then you get others who were taught charity begins at home. I see my infrastructure collapsing. I'm making an example like the hospitals. Of course, I would like to accommodate all those. I'm aware of the struggles that is happening all over the African continent, particularly in regards to healthcare. And I know that in South Africa, we are blessed. Our healthcare system is at least more established in terms of professionals.
Okay, sorry to cut you
However,
off,
we do
but
not have the capacity. We don't have the capacity. I
I
have to
disagree,
admit that
bro.
I don't want to.
Wait. Let me just say something, right? That would be
I
true.
wish so.
That would be true if foreigners were at least even 5% of the population. We barely make even 2%. And that's the thing most South Africans don't understand. There's not that many of us here. Like, okay, I was reading the comments. One gentleman said over 60% of all prisoners are foreigners, which is a lie. We're only 15%
No, that's
of prisoners in the country. You see, but that's my point right there. Most of y'all are assuming that we are a majority in the country. We're so small. Like, even in areas where we are a lot, the predominant people would be South Africans. It's just that foreigners come together so that we're able to stick to our own, speak up, speak with people who understand our languages, and not even that, get connected and not to live in the country better from those who have lived there longer than us. That thing of a lack of resources, it's a lie, because we only 2%. How can we be taking so many resources if we only 2%? That doesn't make any sense to me.
I've read much higher figures, such as like 7%, which is still low, but yes, he's correct in that.
Too high.
He's correct in that the hatred is not based on anything other than your emotions and your stupidity and your colonial mentality. Full stop. More importantly, especially, are you based in probably not Cape Town, because it's more so a lot of whites in Cape Town. That's where I usually go.
Yes,
I went to Durban. It was okay. Yes, go ahead.
Yes, I was schooled in Cape Town. I just moved back a month ago.
Okay, very good. Next time I come to South Africa, can you have me a couple super thick South African chicks lined up for me? Can you look out for your boy?
Oh my goodness! Why are you guys talking
Come
about?
Come on now. Can you look out for your boy?
Look, I respect a lot of the work that you do. Look, I think our people sometimes we do not like to hold each other accountable where we should be held accountable. Just real quick. Somebody has to do it.
Especially on a serious note, can you have a couple chicks lined up for your boy? I'm just trying to figure out. If you can't, you can't. I get it, but I'm just trying to figure out.
No, that mentality is contributing to our AIDS. Didn't you say our AIDS epidemic is too high?
That's so funny that you said that. No. Especially, it's really fascinating. You guys hate a powerful black man. You hate a powerful black man. That's why I like to play with you, because you're a liberal white woman. That's why I like to play with you. You see, your chief issue. No. Stop. You're done here. Now you can listen. 1 in 5 of you have HIV/AIDS. I'm a wealthy businessman from the United States of America. It's very low probability that I have anything to worry about.
Very high.
No. Don't interrupt now. Don't interrupt now. And also, let me know if this is true. Is it legal to marry more than one woman in South Africa? Let's see how well you know your laws.
According to customary law.
Yes. According to the law, yes or no? Is it legal or illegal?
It's legal.
It's illegal. Thank you. You see, I know your laws better than you, as it turns out.
Oh, you didn't say why. You said chicks.
As it turns out. There's a difference. As it turns out, I know your laws better than you. So just pay attention. So the problem with the liberal white woman, which is what you are, is that you are a poison on the earth. You guys are the ones who reduce the black population You weaken the black people. Someone like me, you should want men like me, black men like me, who are powerful and wealthy and influential to procreate in great numbers. You should be actively facilitating that because I strengthen the black nation. Not only me, but those like me. We need more of me. We need less of you. Okay. But anyways, just a quick question. One second. Yeah. I hear you. To the Congolese, brother, I know you've been over there a while. Who's thicker? Are the Zulu girls thicker than the Xhosa?
It varies. I'd say depending on which part of South Africa you are in. No, I'm genuinely serious. I've lived here for 12 years. It varies. You cannot say one group is thicker than the other. But what
wait, who's the baddest though? Who's the baddest?
Zulus.
Who's the baddest?
Zulus and Hutus by 5.
Hey, but check this out.
Because he lives in KwaZulu-Natal.
Listen, I thought that the Xhosa are slimmer women. Didn't like I had one my first trip. No, they're not the slimmer ones.
No, that's Zulus are actually a little bit slimmer.
You need to weigh in on this one, Ramadan. No, you need to weigh in on this.
In my experiences, I said, right, Zulu women are the prettiest in terms of body features. Like they are.
Okay.
Then facial
more
features.
Submissive.
Yes, more submissive. Like they're very big on submissive in the Zulu culture.
Word. Even the liberal white woman feminists, they're more submissive. If she says it, it got to be true. They're more submissive.
Yeah, they're very big on submissive.
I'm trying to pick up on your type. If you're looking for South African, go for maybe Zulu, with the likely a rural upbringing, and then went to university.
I don't even need that. I need something unique. I need a suburban upbringing with no university. You hear me? Because a lot of chicks, they go to college, they come out still dumb. It's just like total waste. Like, why even waste that time?
Yeah, good luck with that.
I know.
Look, you will find actually the ones who grew up maybe more rural and then had an education, I find are more down to earth than those who actively grew up in the suburbs, because our education and our indoctrination at these white private schools was very heavy. And it's social media. And for example, I'll admit myself, like, at least my parents did me a favor by always taking to my elders every year, but it's really not enough. It's really not enough.
That's been my whole argument with you the whole time. Is you're a liberal white?
Yeah, the kind of girl you're looking for, I would not look for someone who grew up in the suburbs. I would say someone who.
I'd say, like, a lot of African parents, we be South African or non-African, they praise the Western ideologies more than they praise the African ideologies. I speak to, like, I speak French and English. Like, those are my two dominant language. I can speak as well.
I don't understand that. Why Congolese do that? I was so upset in Angola. They refused to speak their mother tongue. I did not understand.
Wait.
The issue is,
Shorty, you gotta stop playing special. You have no credibility out here. You gotta stop acting like you like.
You guys are judging me on my accent.
You have no credibility out here.
Look, I had to spend some time, right, to decolonize my education system, and I'm still getting out of it.
I need to strap you in a chair.
Don't judge me on my accent, okay? Everybody
I'm not
judges
judging you
on
on your accent. I'm judging you based on the fact that you're a black human who said you want to reduce the influx of black humans into South Africa, and everyone heard you.
But you immediately took that and you ran. You did not listen to the reasoning.
No, there is no reasoning that makes that sensible. There is no reasoning that makes that sensible. You should know in your country, the whites, actually the government at that time, they had a program to reduce your population of blacks. And that's why when you look at the HIV/AIDS prevalence, I'm here to tell you that it was not because you guys are like so much more promiscuous than the other Africans. Look at all the African countries neighboring you and look at their prevalence of HIV/AIDS. It's much lower. It's much lower. Yes.
No,
so you live among. Yes. So here's the thing that's crazy, though, my dear, is you are a black woman sitting there among whites who injected your people with HIV/AIDS, and your priority is not to deal with them, but to deal with other blacks. That's crazy. And
no, that is your assumption.
I didn't choose my name. People in
Look, I have a grandfather. I have a grandfather who was. Yeah, no, what you're saying is real. I was just
I
making an
didn't choose my
example.
name.
Yeah, I have a grandfather who was one of the first black doctors, right, in South Africa. And you know, in South Africa, we had like the Bantu education system, which limited black people from getting a real education, right? That wasn't like labor.
You guys still
So he
don't
was
have
one
a
of
real
the first.
education. You still don't. But
So he
128.
was.
What did you have to say? Did you have something you want to say? Some crazy stuff you want to say before we get out of here? I can't even
Can't
hear,
hear you.
bro. Bro, it's muted.
No,
You don't
no,
even
I'm
know.
just listening.
Okay, fantastic. If folks in the audience have something to say to these folks, go ahead and send it in using the information below. Let me just acknowledge some of the folks in the audience real quick. They may have some questions for our South African young lady. Oh yeah, by the way, what is your age, madam?
I'm 28.
No, you're a real adult. That's a beautiful thing. Shout out to Darren, comes in supporting the work. Actually, Darren and Wayne both donated to the training center. You guys might not know I'm building a training center to help raise up boys and girls into proper men and women, you know, that love and respect themselves and also love and respect those who reflect themselves. You see? So like I look at Ramadan here, I see myself, that I have a level of comfort with him. I might be like, silence, but I have the utmost respect and I would take care of this young brother. So I view him as a part of my family, the greater family that we are in. And this is what we teach within SAS in Africa. Now, I also acknowledge Gary supporting the work using the Stripe link. And shout out to Antonio as well, supporting the work using the Stripe link.
What
And I
the
also
heck?
acknowledge, shout out to Clay. He writes, tuition for the education came in using PayPal. Shout out to Davion. He writes, tuition, peace of saints. Thank you for all the work to awaken all the black peoples of the earth. And I also want everyone to know we cannot awaken all of them. Some of them will die in the revolution, and that's okay. Shout out to Taylor. He writes, peace to the saints. I also acknowledge Sage supporting the work via PayPal. Shout out to Iram. Writes, assalamu alaikum. I appreciate everything you do. Jazakallah khair. Thank you very much. And I also acknowledge via PayPal. Shout out to Wayne. He writes, peace of saints, tuition. The passion was so felt, I almost forgot to send tuition. Oh, absolutely. And I mean every bit of what I'm saying. Unlike our dear girl here, I actually mean what I'm saying. That's why I'm saying it with such seriousness. I'm not walking it back. I'm not modifying it. I mean 100% of everything that I've said today. And I mean it like with a deadly amount of seriousness. It is unacceptable that Black South Africans treat other Black Africans the way that they do. And it's also unacceptable that they live in servitude in a country that is the land of their forefathers being exploited by a white and Asian colonial population. It's disgusting. And I spit on them as a collective, unless they're a part of SAS in Africa. And I think that the South Africans are the laziest and most despicable population of Black people on earth for what they have allowed to go on. And I will be back in South Africa. So for any South African who's lying to themselves, because you guys are great at lying, anyone who's watching, you're saying, well, come say that in South Africa. You guys have the most beautiful women on earth, like from a total package perspective. You guys have some of the best women on earth, and I will be there to skim the cream of the crop, little buddy. So you can bet your bottom dollar Marquette Devon Burton will be in South Africa. I will be in Cape Town. I will be at the finest restaurants that the whites allow us to be in. And I will be in Joburg. I will be in Pretoria, talking to the real bosses, because you guys can't do it. And if any of you has an issue with me, you come take up that issue. Now, mind you, I'll probably be with some whites, so you'll be terrified. You'll be scared because I'll have whites around me. But come do what you say you're going to do. I will be in South Africa. And also for all of my real South Africans, unlike this young lady, you got some beautiful South African women. Line them up. I'll be back. Daddy's home. Line them up. I'm taking them Zulu. I'm taking them Xhosa. Every tribe that I can't pronounce the name, line them up. The king is back. I yield the floor. Anyone have anything to say before we get out of here?
Yeah, man. I would just like to say,
Invite us to the wedding.
I'm very pro-African. I watch a lot of people like Marquette, Dr. Umar Johnson. I've read a lot of Malcolm X's books, Steve Biko. I'm very pro-African, and one thing I would suggest to everybody out there, like, please do not give your children English, Arab, French names and all that bullshit. Please, like, I hate it. I completely hate it. I think my name, for example, it's Ramazani Mukobo Ibn Isa Sumani. Like, that's my name. My dad is Muslim, my mom is Christian, and please teach your kids to love themselves, teach them to
Mm.
love who they are. They must enjoy being black. And what is most important, we need to understand that black people, above all else, we are God's people. I do not think there's
Mm.
anybody on the planet that is as gifted, as powerful, and as important to the human race as we are. So, and the first step it takes to make your child to be proud of who they are, do not give them any Western name. And South Africans have a lot of that, Wonder Boy, even us Congolese people, but Beaugrand, we give them these shit names, which I think they do more damage than anything else. The names, your child must have an African name. Like, that is my message. If you're young in your 20s, as you go older, please make sure your child has an African name. That is the most important step to any person's Africanity, in my opinion.
My
Give
nigga
them an
said
African name.
Africanity, bro. I didn't. Are you sure that's a word? I'm using it though, bro. Said Africanity. Hey,
Like that is
Ramadan.
that is
We
the
need to
first
check
step.
the
Yeah.
Africanity of this chick right here. We got to check her Africanity.
No,
I got the
I feel like with
Africanity
her-
scale right here. She ranking low.
I think.
What's your
I
Africanity
feel-
score, young lady? What's your Africanity score?
100%.
Oh, you playing games with me. You playing
Are you
games with me.
talking genetically or psychologically? Look, we all went through
Psychologically.
psychological enslavement. Unfortunately, this is through our education system. This is through social media. This is the movies we watch. This is what we have done. But it is also our responsibility to re-educate ourselves, like the brother said. One thing that my parents always said, please, speak to us in the mother tongue language. We used to be fluent, but as soon as we went to boarding school at a young age, we went to the white schools and they're like, well, as soon as we speak our language to each other, they say, no, this is not a shebeen. A shebeen is like, what is a shebeen? A shebeen is like a place where people go and like drink alcohol and stuff. Like, it's like a tavern. I don't know what they
Yeah,
call it.
heavens. I was
So
about to say that.
now when you say that to young children, right, black children who are in a majority white environment, you slowly pick in their brain that their language is inferior, and that is what happened to us. So when we would come home for the holidays, our parents would speak to us in Xhosa, and would reply back in English without even thinking about it. And then they would say, "No, speak to Xhosa so that we don't lose the language." But we would reply back in English, and eventually, you start speaking to your grandparents, and you find that you've actually forgotten a lot of the words because you were indoctrinated. So I stand by everything our Congolese brother is saying. We are all brothers and sisters. In fact, I don't even like to refer to myself. I love, as much as I love being proud as a South African, I prefer to refer to myself as a Bantu African, because the whole of
I'm done with
Africa
you.
belongs to
I'm
us.
done with you. No, you keep lying. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done.
You
Shout out
don't
to
believe me?
Mr.
Invite me to a
Akin
wedding
Moyo.
one day, your South African wedding. Invite me to your
Yeah.
wedding, and then we will have a nice chat.
I don't know. Shout out to Melvin supporting the work via PayPal. He writes, tuition, peace to the saints, love and respect. Appreciate you. Shout out to Ray. He writes, careful, Quet. They won't like this. Remember Nipsey. Remember Gaddafi, Left Eye. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. We already know what time it is. Okay, very good. I think we're caught up there. And yes, ladies and saints, I agree. Having names that are authentic, and the Black Americans, we've been very good at that. We've created a culture out of nothing almost. Marquette Devon is an original Black American name, so I release that to the people. I release it to the people. If you all would like to use Marquette Devon, you have my full blessing. With that, it's been a pleasure of this time. Even though this young lady, I don't think she came. I don't think she realized that Marquettism is for the kids. Marquettism saves lives, but we're going to pray for her. I appreciate you two having been here. And if you all ever see me in South Africa, or you see me coming to South Africa, definitely drop me a note. I'd love to meet you all and shake hands. Until next time, peace to the saints.
Until next time.
My bad, family. But that was supposed to be commercial. But but we're gonna cook on him. I got enough data. I'm gonna catch y'all most likely tomorrow morning. You dig? 5 a.m., 5:30 a.m. Call, holla. I'm gonna play the first 10 minutes of this. This weird guy right here, man. You dig? We gotta get him up out of here, out of the FBA spaces. You feel me? So peace, family.